Saying I'm on live. There we go. And saying I'm live. Hey guys, how's it going? What's up? Sorry to run a little bit late. Little man's bath went a little bit long, and I'm not talking about Gary's this time, but the bubble bath took a little bit longer than normal, and I had G and Gary helping me out embedding the link. So Too Hottie wants a new link. Let's see here. You know what? I can just put it in the gun channel side, and whoever wants it can have at it. How's that? Okay. So let's see who's in the chat here. Yeah, D-Temp and Jumpy, Patriot, Too Hottie. We know you're out there. So, and I lost my chat. Damn it. This is a goddamn mess. Let's try that again.
What do you need, the YouTube channel here?
Nope, I got it. Yeah, I got it again. Guess who? I don't know who the hell Guess Who is. Philo's out there. General Relativity is out there. I am out there. Gary's out there. Patriot. Oh, we don't have a whole lot of people. We got a lot of people talking, but not a whole lot of people yet. I do have a lot of links out. If anybody wants some that didn't get one, not a problem. Let me know, and I'll get one to you. Tack Daddy's out there. Hi, Tack Daddy. What's going on? The links out. If anybody wants some, get one. Not a problem. Is that me? Or was that somebody else?
It was me. My bad.
Oh, that's cool. I can't believe you would mess up. This is such a professional atmosphere. I can't believe you would let something like that happen.
He said he's
going to lose. Yeah. And cool. There's Grimm's out there. GunTube, Rupan. All right, good to see you guys. Liberty Cat, what's going on? Tina is I'm guessing that Gun Gals is done. So we'll see what happens. Hoping some more people will pop in. We're gonna do a Chef Mike bracket tonight. If you work in a restaurant, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, Chef Mike is Mr. Microwave. We're gonna do some fun foods. What's the best foods to microwave? Reheat or heat or cook from scratch or whatever. That'll be fun. We got Father's Day coming up, so we're all going to be barbecuing and grilling out and doing all sorts of fun stuff. Have yourself a couple of beers, and then get that. You need that late night snack, right? So what can we throw into the old microwave? I also wanted to talk about sort of gun cleaning, gun maintenance. Get some input on what different people do. What do you guys do as routine maintenance? I'm not talking about crazy stripping down each part, but you go to the range, you shoot. If you're the kind of person that I try and clean every time. I don't do anything crazy, but I thought it'd be fun to just talk about that. What do you do to your individual guns when you come home? And we will get to that. Sorry, getting some texts here. So let's go to the room. Let's see who's in here. It's Gary's in here. Gary, you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi. Gizzard Gary here. Hello. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, absolutely. Too Hottie, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
Good. Thank you for the link. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Another Sunday evening. Just chilling.
Good. And G-Web stopped in. What's going on, G?
Not much. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Thanks for the help. Rupan's out there. He's got even Rupan got a strike last night. Was that last night or the night before? George Grayson Cat's out there. Hi, George. How's it hanging? Jorge's out there now. I'm super interested to sort of hear what's going on, Rupan. I know you're a smaller channel. It's kind of tough because you don't have, like you said in your video, you don't have somebody to call to help you out. What is the procedure for something like that? I mean, is there what's the chain of command? G, you obviously you're a huge channel, but when you get a strike, what happens? I know when you log in, you get a notification and you can't go any farther without sort of acknowledging it, right? What for somebody like Rupan, what's his next step?
Here's what happens when you're on YouTube, nothing. And when when you get your strike, exactly as you said, there's a page that you have to agree to, and then you go, and it will show you the video for a length of time, and then you just have a strike. So if you go to community tab or whatever in your control panel, it'll have a little frowny face instead of a happy face. That's about all the consequence. And then of course, whatever repercussions there are, like you lose the ability to live stream or whatever, or even access to your channel, right? So as far as having a person on YouTube, you don't get any person. You have to seek that out. All they'll do is on the main page of your screen every once in a while, they'll put a little, when you're at 100,000, I guess, level, they'll put a little thing on your screen every once in a while. And at one point, one of those things was, hey, do you want to talk to somebody at YouTube about making better videos or something? And that's the only time I ever got anybody. And they'll talk to me about how to make my banner look, or how to use tags on my video. But they're not like do any kind of maintenance or account maintenance or any kind of internal stuff at YouTube. I don't know how those channels with larger audiences get that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of people say like they've literally called it like a rep, but I didn't know.
Well, I mean, that's like what you call her, but like I said, she's going to tell you things like, oh, you should put the schedule of your podcast in your header of your main page. She's going to be like, work with other YouTubers and collaborate. She just has little stupid things like that. She's not out there to say like, oh, you didn't get a check? Let me go find out this. Oh, you have a question about a policy? No, she's not in whatever legal department or anything. She's just there to be like a general.
It almost sounds like they're like SEO types.
No, how to work the system better. Like, do I worry about time of video, or do I worry about eyeballs or something? Do I worry about age or gender, or do I worry about region? Those kind of questions. How you work the nuts and bolts of the system, and then just some of the more savvy stuff. Because I figured, I don't know, they must get a lot of questions from people like, how do I get more people to watch my podcast and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there's no level where you get like an actual person at YouTube, and there's like a person who answers the phone and it's your person, and at least I've never discovered that. So whenever I got my first strike, I wrote her and she just never wrote back. So there's like anything in YouTube, the only thing I've ever found is if you dig around help long enough, you'll find maybe a reply to some thread in the help section where somebody has an email address, and then you try sending something to that email address, and there's an auto response that tells you to try this other department. Some people have called on the phone and gotten email addresses, but honestly, I don't try to pursue it. Unless you can't have access to your account. So for all my strikes, I'm on 3 or 4 now. They're just procedure. You go, you wait for them to end, and then they end.
Yeah. And then I just threw out the acronym SEO, and I'm not sure people know what it means, and I don't 100% know what it means, but it's search engine optimization, and it's basically how you're putting information onto your website and how the rest of the internet is actually interacting with that. And if you can optimize that better to get more views, to get more eyeballs on your stuff, to get more interaction, then that's all the better. G can expand on that more if you guys want him to.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's just the whole time that I've been on until very recently, it's been sort of, I guess, wrongly common knowledge, but Clover says, is this the closer or after hours? It's a little bit of both tonight. It was kind of common knowledge, and I guess not appropriately, that smaller channels really didn't need to worry about it, and you just didn't see small channels having a hard time or getting pegged with anything. But yeah, more and more you see smaller channels catching them too. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say what's going to happen. I mean, I have to start thinking back to some of the stuff that I have versus, Rupan. I mean, he didn't have anything odd, anything out of the ordinary. He's just shooting a rifle, talking about it, that kind of thing.
So
And go ahead.
I was going to ask, is it a shooting video?
Yeah. He put a new, what was it? It was the new barrel he put on his rifle, or built a rifle. And I think all it was just like a test shooting video. I can't remember. I watched it, but I don't remember. I didn't go back and watch it after he got the strike, but I don't think there was anything odd in there. I don't think there was any links. I'm pretty sure. I know there wasn't any links or anything like that. So, I mean, hopefully he'll get it cleared up, but it sure is a pain in the butt, Yeah, he says just test shooting. That's crazy. I mean, I've done disassembly videos, and I've shown, my rifles. I've talked about scopes and sights and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really kind of makes you wonder what's the end all be all. Is it just going to be? Are they going to sort of be different types of guns you just don't see? If it's an AR, if it's an AK, if it's a Mini 14, or if it's something like that, semi-automatic, is it just going to be, if you have that on there, is it going to be a strike? You can get rid of you. Yeah, he's saying Gorillas and Guns said all sorts of channels got hit. Yeah, 2 days, was it 2 days ago or something? They said all sorts of people were getting them. No. There's no lasting effects of that, though, if you get a strike and it's taken away, right?
I'm not sure, because now it seems like we're on their list, right? I mean,
right, that's
away, and 3 days later I get another one. I get it taken away, and 3 days later I get another one. So these are videos that are from 2012, 2014, and then this last one, it was a video that was private. So it's not like it was a video that was being available to anybody, really, except you.
Well,
yeah,
and then there's I apologize, Sharp. So,
no, go ahead, buddy.
But then there's also the other effect that you can think of, and I read this in somebody who posted about Mac's issues, and they were talking about how it seems like now Mac and a few other people have not been blacklisted but have been whitelisted because they've been fraudulently flagged so many times, and their shit has been shut down so many times that it's almost like, when they get one of these, reports in or flags or whatever from one of these social justice warrior groups that are out there doing this stuff, that, it's that he's almost just on a white list where it just kind of it just falls to the rear, and just, I mean, everything keeps moving forward. I mean, we'll see if he gets another strike, which I'm not going to say he won't, but I mean, he's had very good luck at getting them overturned in the past.
Yeah. Night Strike says it certainly seems that they're out to get gun channels on YouTube. What and it's something that would be interesting to look at. What other channels are having issues with this, or what other channel genres, I guess, whatever you want to say. Is anybody else having trouble, or is it just primarily political and gun stuff?
Clover has made it clear in the past few months, and he's out there in the chat, so I would love for him to jump in, since we are kind of having a Thursday night convo or Friday night convo here. But he's made it very clear in the past that the 2A community, they're not the only ones being targeted.
Yeah.
It's anybody with more of a Republican, or I don't even want to say Republican, but more of a liberty minded kind of point of view, and then it just stretches the gamut from everything that I've heard. There are a lot of channels being affected by it, over the past few months.
Yeah, I don't really float around too much. It's pretty much, stay in our little neck of the woods, and that's it. Other than I've been watching a lot of like Shapiro and Jordan Peterson stuff lately. They're super interesting to listen to. whether you necessarily subscribe to the same mentality or not, they're super interesting to hear the debates and the back and forths and stuff. It's really, really cool. Patriot says, I heard that YouTubes are anti-Red Dawn. Like the dish detergent or the movie? If it's the movie, I think G's going to have a problem with that. If it's the dish detergent, I don't think he's going to care. He can use the blue stuff. It just works just as good.
I've heard it does.
It does look. Go ahead.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about gun stuff, huh? So I'm making a switch a little bit just to try something new. And I'm going to start using, I've never really used grease before when I clean and lube. Clover jumped in here. Hey, Clover, what's going on, buddy?
What's up?
You want to, before we switch over, is there anything you want to talk about? If you want to say something about what we were talking about or no?
Well, yeah, I kind of jumped on just to more or less just to give a little bit of a tip.
Sure, go ahead.
Because here's what's happened. Here's what's frustrating. Doesn't matter who gets this, right? And I get it. Not everybody is a nerd like me. Okay, I understand. But when you take creating your content seriously and you start, documenting all of this stuff, and it gives you things to go back on, right? And then if you're able to go back on that, then you can potentially start to establish patterns. And somebody gets a channel strike and it's like, I don't know what happened. Oh, they're just targeting us and this, that, and the other. Well, there still could be patterns there. But the problem with all these channels is you don't have access to what they're looking at, meaning their tags and their descriptions, because all that's gone. YouTube deleted that. They removed it, right? And so you don't have all of that. And so what I would recommend is that, we've talked about the morning fame. I mean, if you can afford to do morning fame, the cool thing about morning fame is it keeps a list of all of your titles, tags, and descriptions there. You build all of that in morning fame, and then you copy and paste that over to your videos, right?
Hold on, wait. What are we talking about?
Morning fame. Morning dot. Yeah, morning FA. It's morningfa.me. I've talked about it multiple times before. I think we did an after hours on it, or maybe even a couple of them. But anyway, if you can afford to do that, it keeps a list of all of that information, title tags and descriptions, so that if you have a video that ends up getting whacked, I mean, obviously you should have that on a backup drive somewhere, so you should have the video, so that you can go back and double check that, and then cross reference that with your titles, tags, descriptions, all that in morning fame, and then potentially that along with other channels sort of get a picture. So that's what's frustrating with me, is because if I had access to all of the information from all of these videos, then I could potentially put a pattern together, but I don't have access to all of that. So you just sit back and you wonder what the heck's going on. And I think there's things that trigger the algorithm, like this being like Gay Pride Month or whatever, right? There's an influx ever since, and G-Web probably knows what I'm talking about. Ever since what is the stupid little video game, Minecraft? Ever since Minecraft pretty much broke YouTube, right? Then they redid a bunch of stuff. So the algorithm, if it gets an influx of videos and stuff, it sort of freaks out a little bit, right? And I think what happens when you get stuff like Gay Pride Month, for example, you've got, transgenders, gay people, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. They upload their videos, but it's all of a sudden you've got this mass influx of videos in a particular genre or whatever's going on. And I think what happens is the algorithm picks up on certain words because it can't necessarily put them into context. So they may be quote unquote trigger words, right? And it's like a borderline trigger word, but then, oh crap, here's a big flood of them. So then the algorithm goes nuts. So it may not have anything to do with your particular content. It's just that an influx of something has now triggered the algorithm, and then that particular video just kind of gets caught in a crossfire. And I keep falling back to the example of you've got reloading dies, and then you've got a tragedy where 14 people die, right? That's two different contexts of the word die, But if the algorithm flags die, you see what I'm saying? Your video's going down. It's not tragedy, but it's going down.
It's not able to see or understand context.
And that is where all of your metadata comes into play. And I see a lot of people still not putting together proper metadata. So anyway, that was my 2 cents. I know that was a long, drawn out thing for, nothing, but.
No, that's cool. I think it's, I mean, obviously pertinent because we're all, not all of us are doing videos, but a lot of us do videos. And I think it's important to kind of talk about it because, something might click that somebody else says, like, it's like Rupan out there saying, his tags, and he has a gunner tag, he says maybe gunner tag.
Yeah, gunner's not cool.
Yeah. Something like that is, yeah. And I mean, I know a lot of people just do like a lot of generic ones on every video, where it's like, firearms, guns, whatever, and
single word tags are bad anyway. Any single word tag you have aside from branding, right? Like I use Clover tag, for example. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's specific to my channel. That's okay because that's there for brand insulation. Okay. But if you're talking search and discovery, a single word tag is crap. There's no point in even using it. Now, gunner, bad. Anti-gunner, that might actually be okay. But just gunner itself is bad. Just like the same way if you go shooter can trigger. Just shooter. Sniper. But if you put that and you put competition shooter as a tag, that's different. Now you've given it context, right?
So Rupan, make all your tags anti-gun, anti-2A, and anti-freedom, and then you'll just get a whole bunch of thumbs down on your video, but that still counts as interaction, so you win.
Right. Yeah. But good point, and that's I'm glad we got a chance to bring that up. Yeah, stay away from one-word tags if you can do that.
Yeah. He said he had a video on his channel showing how to assemble an AK. He forgot it was there and removed it. Yeah, it's so dumb.
It's kind of odd. It's kind of odd. I'm sorry, Chris. It's kind of odd that they would strike one where he's just out test firing something rather than him building an AK, considering YouTube's recent guidelines.
Well, I think that's kind of,
it may be odd to some people, and I get how it can be. I don't think it's odd because, like I said, it's arbitrarily picking up on things to strike. Is what I'm saying. So it's not odd.
I think it's kind of like like the perfect storm of things. Like one tag here, one tag there, one tag here isn't going to do it. But if you hit 3 or 4 of them, and then all of a sudden the algorithm says, okay, there's a bunch of things here, and it just kind of automatically flips the switch instead of letting it pass. Giving it pass.
It's a context. It's like I said, it's a context thing because and that's where the one-word tags can get you in trouble. Be specific with your tags, okay? Long tail tags, more than one word. That way, it's a specific tag. And I go back to the whole die, right? Okay, die or dives is going to be a trigger word. So I don't just put die in my tag. I put reloading die, or you put tool and die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that gives it context. And then the algorithm, when it starts going through and going, okay, this has die, strike. This has die, strike. This has die. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. This says tool and die. It don't even see it. It just keeps on going because it's different. It's not just die anymore. So it doesn't have to try to figure anything out. It just skips right over it. It's not it's not the droids it's looking for, right?
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, YouTube. Yeah, it's well, I don't know. Sure as hell would be nice if they got it straightened out so you didn't have to worry about it so much, right? Even you could just do things that were legal and not do things that were illegal, and we could all be happy again. I mean, I'll be on a year in about a month, and it's been almost the whole year. It's like right after I started doing videos, it started getting wonky, and it was such a bummer,
Well, and if they wanted to, if they wanted to hammer everybody, they could hammer everybody. They can hammer everybody right now if they wanted to. It'd be real easy for them to do that. And it's weird because I mean, maybe I'm the only one that sees this. I guess I don't know, but since demonetization day a few months back, that's when if you didn't have the 10,000 subs, I mean the 1,000 subs, whatever it was, right? Then they pulled you from the partner program. Since from that point until about 3 weeks ago, I seen like absolutely zero ad restriction stuff on my channel. None. It just was not there. It might go yellow for like a few hours or something at maximum, and even that only happened a few times, and then it would go green. But within the last 3 weeks or so, I've actually seen stuff stick as far as ad restrictions go. Now, I don't care about all of that anyway. As far as the whole ad revenue into things, it's pointless on a channel my size and with the views I get. But I look at it for patterns and stuff. So in the last 3 weeks, especially, there's been something going on, and I don't know what. So it's one of them things where if they wanted to do it, you would see a bigger problem than you see. Okay, we see a half a dozen, we see 10 or 12 gun channels. Well, there's thousands and thousands of gun channels out there, right? So it's hard to point and go, well, they're trying to shut down gun channels. Well, if they were putting in specific criteria to shut down gun channels, their infrastructure and their algorithms would be far more efficient at doing that than just catching, 12 channels.
Wait a minute. This kind of brings up a question for me, and I know you're more YouTube centric and you're stretching out into the Instagrams and stuff. But me, I've been on Instagram for a little under a year. I mean, end of July now will be a year. But I talk to Steadley quite a bit, and it seems like every time I talk to him, he's talking about being on a shadow ban and being banned for this and being banned for that. And I've, knock on wood, I mean, up to this point, I haven't been banned. I haven't had any posts taken down and anything like that. But I'm wondering if it's something that he might be doing in his tags, in something like that is causing something to clicks.
Yeah, it certainly can be.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking Instagram though, right?
I am right now. Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, realize that the policies and everything else completely different. And that being owned by Facebook, that is certainly a whole lot less whole lot less pro second or tolerant of Second Amendment stuff. Facebook and Instagram, as a whole, as a company, I should say. So you gotta look at that. But yeah, and that's sort of my point. And what I see all too often. And that's one reason that I do the after hours is it takes time. It's a commitment to take the time to learn how things are working, to try to at least understand what you can and can't get away with, and then outside of that, once you can explain it away, whatever, I mean, bias can exist. We all know that. And I'm not, I've never said that YouTube doesn't have any bias in the company at all. It certainly does have some bias, and with any company that bias can exist, whether it's on the left or the right. But when you see, again, LGBTQ typically a cause of the left, when you see a channel like the Young Turks get hit, or you see something like Jimmy Fallon get hit, or you see, what's the other thing? Oh, heck, like the pro-weed, right? That's typically a leftist issue. You're seeing things like that get hit, then you can't blame that bias on that. So, something else is at play. The question is, what is it and how do we figure it out? We don't figure it out unless creators understand the process enough. And that's why maybe I jumped into something a little more complex when I was talking about keeping track of those titles and tags and other stuff. That way, if something does get hit, you go back and you have that information, and we can start maybe putting two and two together as we go along and maybe figure something out. And if we can figure something out, maybe we can figure out a way to avoid it, right?
I think what you had to say was perfectly on par with the discussion that we were having before you jumped in. So,
but like you say, a lot of people don't read and understand the rules. That's like the whole Brownells thing. When they're talking about direct sales and the policy, and Brownells directly sell stuff, then I mean there's some validity to. We got rid of Brownell's channel, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want Brownell's channel to go away, and I think the policy is stupid, and I think them hitting the channel was stupid. But I'm not going to sit here and be intellectually dishonest with myself and say that, there wasn't something to that because of the way the policy says, hey, you're not allowed to, directly sell or link to or whatever. Well, when Brownells has a channel, maybe Brownells needs, Joe Bob Gunsmith, and he's the spokesperson for Brownells. You see what I'm saying? To separate the two, if you see what I'm getting at. And that would eliminate any confusion around the policy. But people don't dive into it deep enough to figure out how to play that game a lot of times.
Well, and it kind of goes back to the SEO that I mentioned earlier. It is a lot of work to dig into that stuff and actually wrap your head around it and understand it and all that stuff. So, I mean, all I can say is I commend you on doing what you do and actually taking the time to get the understanding that you're getting. I mean, you bring a lot to all of us.
Well, and I appreciate that, but there's only so much I can do, and the most important thing I can do is advocate, because I'm no different than you, except for I've spent the time, I've gone through courses, whatever. Other than that, I'm no different than you are. So my main deal is to advocate and say, go learn that yourself. That way you have a better understanding, because, once you actually get into the habit of doing that and learning about that stuff, it's gonna pull it all together, and you're gonna understand it a lot better than me trying to explain it, because you're experiencing it as you go along.
Understood, man.
Just want to watch gun videos, man. Just want to watch gun videos, Patriot says so. So midnight. When you gonna cook a
fish? And
yeah, that's it's a good way to make tartare. You just put a tune on the end and blast away. Scoop it on up. That's a good bracket. Best things to make. Best foods to make by shooting it with a gun.
Best things to put on the muzzle of a 308.
There you go. Scott P79 says Brownells is back up.
Yeah, it is. They got massive lawyers and everything else, so I'm not really surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had
massive.
I'm sure they had multiple lawyers that were on the phone.
They had a whole campaign going on. People, not they didn't, but people started a whole thing on.
Oh yeah,
was it Facebook?
Instagram from what I know.
It was on Instagram, but realize
there was a massive outpour of support on Instagram from people.
Well, there was, but there was
simply taking and reposting the image that they posted.
Yeah, and that's great, but that was on Instagram. That wasn't YouTube, and Instagram's owned by Facebook, and Facebook and YouTube hate each other. So did YouTube really care that there was this outcry? And let me say this: look at the outcry that happened when Jaeger got taken down, and Jaeger didn't get put back up. So what is the
outcry?
I would
not directed to YouTube; it's directed to the community. And it's a same thing you're saying about the metrics. It's a thing that you can use, a metric you can use to indicate the amount of people that are aware and interested. So yeah, it doesn't mean the guy who flips the switch at YouTube said, "Oh, I saw enough Instagram posts, I'm changing my mind." It's the inspiration that it did to the community there.
Sure.
That's
and they are going to be
bold.
I get that, and it probably gave Brownell's lawyers, something to fall back on and point to and go, look at the outcry and the people, you've done this to us and this is not fair and we're going to sue you, and look at the support we've got from people out there saying that you did us wrong.
Well, I don't know about that. I never thought about it that way, but I agree they have lawyers, and it might have just been enough people making a phone call. The YouTube support all had the phone number as well. So it's possible they just got enough phone calls, or it's possible that their lawyers did it, but no surprise they got their channel back. But I'm hoping that what Brownells sees from that outcrop, that the number of people that supported them who aren't being paid by them, I hope that they see that they have reach and they have relationship with their customers and the community that goes beyond those content creators that they fund. So I'm hoping that there might, oh, I'm not hoping, I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of change in their stuff going forward. When they saw how many individuals out there supported them on the social media platforms, that they're super aware, right? They're paying big money to be represented on those platforms. Their people that they paid for were not the first people to put the call out.
Right. Yep.
Some of them didn't even have a chance to, because they got their channel back before they had a chance to figure it out.
Because some of the people who were paid by them were out partying it up, or at a competition or whatever, from Friday evening through Saturday afternoon. Yeah,
spending time with their family, or hell, they could be at church. I mean, anything. But I'm hoping too that the community can see, look, we can get off our ass because a store got shut down, for crying out loud. What if we put that kind of pressure every weekend on the NFA? What if we put that kind of scrutiny every week on the 4473s?
Yep.
it's a good point, and it makes you wonder what it would take to get a ball like that rolling. I mean, would it be a Pete Brownell coming out and saying, "Look, here's our initiative. Here's our initiative, and this is what we would like you guys to do."
It'd be a good place to start. Just say, everybody who repost this now. We can get.
It was really cool to see the postings not originate from them, and just see the general public sort of pop up and say, "No, this is bullshit. Let's do something about it." It's Matt was Matt on Trigger Time this morning was saying about how he had reached out to Kodo Boy and was trying to get a hold of him to sort of talk about the strikes and see what everybody's. It's just sort of what Clover said earlier too, was to see if everybody could get together and talk about what their strikes were and what they got them for, and to sort of learn a little bit and see if you can stay ahead of the strikes a little bit. I don't know, but it was interesting to see. Patriot says, "Hey, did anyone see where Midnight went? Am I frozen or something?"
No, you're right there.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
I see right where you are, dude.
Maybe he just wants me to go. Maybe he wants me to leave. It wouldn't be the first person. Got a bunch of new people out there. Ozark's out there. Zorro's out there. Psycho's out there. Stealth, how you doing? Vanessa Kitty, I don't think I saw you earlier. General Relativity, we saw you. There is the link. The Hangout link is in the Gun Channels chat. If anybody wants to jump in, go ahead. Just pop on in. It's right there.
We have a restaurant topic tonight.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about restaurants in general. It's something that I talked about a little bit back and forth, a little bit here and there, and the whole thing with Anthony Bourdain. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned Anthony Bourdain to me. He committed suicide. Go ahead.
Has there been any? Okay, has there been any news to come out to say how he did it, or do we not even care?
No, it's kind of irrelevant.
But at the same time, I don't know if it's fucking sick of me or not. But I'm curious on what method he used. I mean, and the reasoning behind it. I know he fought alcoholism and also I think even drug addiction at certain points.
Heroin and coke.
Time.
Yeah, he had a lot of drug issues in his past when he was younger, and he was open about them, and he knew,
No, right.
No, just I've known of since I've been a chef, I know of 4 chefs that have killed themselves. And I'm not really going to get into it now, but 2 days ago or yesterday, I just found out somebody that was very close to me, that I worked with for a number of years, actually just committed suicide himself. And so I had kind of a rough day yesterday.
Sorry
tough.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. And it's kind of like for 2 days I had people mentioning like, oh, did you see Bourdain? Did you see Bourdain? And I was like, yeah, this industry sucks. This industry sucks. Not that is 100% the cause of it. We don't know. And, even if, unless he would have left a note or whatever, I mean, you don't really know. But, and then like a day and a half later, I get a phone call myself and I was like, holy shit. So, it just sort of sparks a little bit of a fire under my ass a little bit, to talk about something that not a whole lot of people in the restaurant industry talk to the general public about, which is really how much of your life you devote to an industry like this. Not that there's not other businesses or industries like this. There's tons of them, but it's my show and this is what I do. So this is what we'll talk about. One of the biggest things in restaurants for restaurant employees is it's frustrating is to not understand or to not feel like, guests care about them. The restaurant industry is full of people that feel like they are equipment and they are, disposable and they're just there for a purpose and they're not, they're not much more than that.
They're servants.
Yeah, it's tough. So, it's just something I wanted to bring up. Not so much that it has to be a discussion, but it would be nice if if you guys chimed in with your input. And I don't want this to sound like I'm bitching about customers and bitching about people, but it's the last 2 days have been pretty tough. So it's kind of nice to talk about it. But Tosh, Daniel Tosh has a really funny joke, a quick little joke. He said, he used to be a server, and he said that he thinks everybody in the United States should be a server for 2 weeks so that they know that their ranch isn't that goddamn important. Their ranch dressing. Mistakes happen and people get, miss things and they forget things and guys in the kitchen will screw stuff up. It just happens. But it's an industry that more and more so is sort of running by a thread as far as money goes. It's a very expensive industry and it gets more and more expensive every day because of the cost of products and the cost of labor and the cost of insurance and the cost of, all your overhead. It's brutal. There's not a ton of money in it. And especially for single owner restaurants, restaurant owner that owns one restaurant, mom and pop, just like gun stores. We talk about that all the time. It's hard to make a single business. So you go to guys that cheapen things up. They want to make the cheapest product they can to make the most money they can, to open up a second place, to open up a chain, to open, to become corporate or whatever. So it's kind of a bummer. It's, but, I think, over, all in all, one of the things I wanted to say to, like 27 people watching, and maybe some people will watch it afterwards. Usually I get in the high hundreds for views, which is cool, is that the little things don't matter that much. Somebody, messes up a temp on your burger, ask for them to fix it. If, it's not life and death. And if people can fix your stuff, they can fix it. If you know, if you don't want to come back to that restaurant, fine, don't come back. You know, if you don't think they're doing a good job. You know, I've seen a lot of people, you know, a mistake from the kitchen comes out, customer's really upset, won't tip the waitress. The waitress it's not her fault. Your server, I shouldn't say waitress, your server, you know, your server didn't overcook your burger. So that actually, we had a really big table the other day. A buddy of mine we were talking about it because I saw him because of what happened. He was like, yeah, we had this big table and we were super busy and everything, you know, it was slow. All the food was great. The temps were on, everything was, but it just took a long time. We were super busy and they tipped like 5%. And it, you know, it kind of sucks because that server then does not make the money that they should have. And it's kind of a bummer. It's not her fault that the restaurant was, you know, backed up. So I just wanted to say, just on the behalf of, you know, everybody that works in the restaurant industry that is so goddamn tough, that it's important to say thank you. It's important to understand that they're people that are doing this for a living because they love it, and they're not always making a whole lot of money doing it, but there's a lot of heart in the restaurant industry. You know, I could make what I make working a whole lot less doing something else, but this is what I was born to do. This is what my heart's in, and this is what I'm good at. And I have a lot of respect for, you know, the people around me that do it for that too. You know, and I tell people our kitchen is a semi-open kitchen. People will ask me to come out sometimes and be like, wow, I want to talk to the chef. Everything was great. Everything was great. You know, and they'll, you know, ask, what's that?
Is that fully semi-open?
Fully semi-open, yes. You can when it's busy, we flip it over into super fun open time mode. We just kick down walls. But you know, one of the things that I think is really cool for people to do is, if it's an open kitchen or a semi-open kitchen, and you can, you know, give a little yell back to the kitchen, be like, hey man, dinner was great. Or, you know, or hey, nice job, guys. You don't really have to get anybody's attention. Trust me, if you're working a kitchen, your ears are open. And I tell our regulars to do this. Guys that I know, that I've known for years. I've been at the restaurant for 12 years. I know a lot of the guests. And, you know, they'll come back and they'll say, oh, everything was awesome. Everything was awesome. I'll be like, give them a yell. And I'll sort of nod over to the guys in the kitchen. And they'll sort of, you know, there's a window. So you have to kind of look down underneath it and be like, hey, everything was great. Or, you know, whatever the dish was awesome. I've actually, cool.
I've actually done that. And this is at a place that, I mean, this was just recently, but it's at a place that I've had like 3 meals at total in my life. But it's a local place, and I don't know how you guys would explain it. I don't know if it's a closed kitchen or semi-open or whatever, but I mean, they do have it's a nice steakhouse kind of place, and as you're on your way out, you can see the guys back in the kitchen, and they're at a pony wall, and I mean, I don't know if it's a pony wall or whatever, but I mean, it comes up to their waist or whatever, and then there's the big heated thing where they lay out all the meals that the waitresses or servers are getting ready to come pick up. And you know, walking out, just made eye contact with one of the gentlemen, and was just like, gave him a nod and say, thanks man, everything was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, it's not hard to do stuff like that. It really isn't.
Yeah, it really can turn a night where you're running around like crazy and you're getting your ass kicked and you're barely keeping up. When things start to slow down, if you go out to you leave the kitchen, go get a drink or something, you know, and a customer comes by and sort of slaps you in the back and be like, hey man, I had the whatever burger tonight, or I had the pasta special or something. That was really good, dude. That can totally flip over a person's night to a real positive end note. So, and I didn't have the side chat open. I'm sorry, guys, but I do now. The internal Clover and G both have some stuff to say. So why don't you guys go ahead? I'll shut up for a little while.
Oh yeah. You were talking about the little mom and pops earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We had an issue here locally, and I see this happen all the time with small restaurants, and it flies all over me, right? Because a place closes down and people go insane, right? And it's like, why did you support the place better when they were open, right? We got this barbecue joint that was in a little town. It's a small town, so it's going to require, you to eat there a couple times a week, and probably every family just about in the town to eat there a couple of times a week in order to keep that place open. Now they're going to get drive-through and all that, but I mean, you need to be promoting and telling people and bringing people with you. I mean, they can, do it Dutch, but say, hey, you want to meet us, the other couple or whatever, you want to meet us over there for lunch, or, meet us over there for dinner or whatever, and then try to get them, to patron, whatever, is it patron the place, or is it, and it's not patronize the place, but anyway, but so this place, I mean, barbecue is an expensive business. It really is. And this was a very nice joint. And they got these requests. Well, you should do live music on Friday nights and, all Saturday nights or all this other stuff. And people just hounded them to do that. And they do that. And they wouldn't even sell enough food to cover paying whatever little band they had playing or something. I mean, it yielded nothing. People wanted something, but then they, like, I'm not going to come no more unless you do this. And then they did that. And then nobody shows up. Those people don't help. So, they announced they're going to close their door, and like their social blew up with, oh, I hate to see you're my favorite place, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, wah. Made it about them, right? Now they can't, I can't get barbecue. It's all about me. It's not about, the business I should have been supporting in the first place. And then another company said, you did this when you was open in the other town to us, and now you're doing it here. And I'm thinking, okay, so you screwed them over 2 different towns now. That's nice. So, if you've got a local place and it's a small place, and it's a good place and you want to see them stay around, go there and eat, No, and this, it translates to even more, like you said, more than just restaurants. It's anywhere. If you want to see a place stay open, you better shop there, and you better tell other people to shop there. And if you have to, grab them by the hand and take them down there to shop there.
And that also goes for employees too. I mean, just to give them a quick nod and thank you to the waiting staff or the people who are cooking your food in the kitchen, the chefs. I mean, in every other industry, I can't tell you how many times I've been in other industries and just having somebody say, "Hey, thanks, you're really doing a great job."
Yeah, we have
no matter what I was doing, whether I was stocking shelves or whether I helped a customer out and walked into their car and did something just kind of out of the ordinary, or did it and it was just freaking part of my job. But just having somebody reach out and actually express a little bit of gratitude, no matter what industry you're in, I mean, it makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah. One thing that kind of goes with Clover too is he said the place closed and now everybody's freaking out. The same thing happens on a smaller scale when we change a menu. First thing we do when we work on the menu is print out the previous 6 months sales, right? Just like any other business probably would, like what's selling? If I sold one of these a month, why the hell am I still selling it, right? Let's get the inventory down or whatever. So yeah, we'll pull up the rest. We'll pull up the sales, and it'll be like, Jesus, we averaged 5 of these a week or something. That's bullshit. Why do we even have this on the menu? Unless it's really, there are dishes that are very, very good that don't sell great. And I know that sounds weird but it's true. And then there's dishes that don't sell awesome that are maybe you just make a lot of money on. They're really great percentage wise. So you might keep those. But inevitably, every time we change the menu and we drop 2 or 3 things, people freak out about those 2 or 3 things. And I say the same thing that Clover said. I was like, we averaged 2 a day. Like, I can't keep something for 2 people a day or 1 person a day. Where were you where were you and all your friends that said I should that say I should keep it? Where the hell have you guys been? Right? Because I think you're the only ones that are ordering it, and you're only ordering it once a week. So that's not going to do it. That's not going to do the deed.
Right. Where the hell have you guys been every day for the past 6 months on these
Right.
reports that I'm going over?
Exactly. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like when you go to, if you're a gun store and you get in, one, whatever the hell it is, you get in a, some sort of, you get a performance center, whatever. It might be an awesome gun, but if you're in a gun store and that sits on your shelf for 3 years because it's, it's out of people's price range because they're not they don't have the money. You're in maybe a lower income area. Yeah. If you sell that one, you're probably not going to get another one in. You'll be like, boy, I'm glad to get rid of that. Now let me go buy a straight 686 or something.
I had a similar experience, and yeah, you're right. It sucks because people will tell you anything, right? I think is what it amounts to, honestly. Yeah. But I used to work a couple of years back or so. Worked really closely with a gun store here. Worked with their with social, did some R&D, did a bunch of other things with them, and there was a really, really big push because there was nobody selling gunpowder, right? Smokeless powders. Nobody selling smokeless powder in town. You had to go it's like a 45-minute drive or something to the closest place to get it, or order it and pay all the hazmat and shipping and other stuff, right? And they bugged and bugged and bugged multiple people. I'm talking like dozens, literally, of people bugged them about powders. And the owner was like, I don't know what to do, this, that, and the other. And I said, let's sit down. I said, I know most of these guys. I know what they shoot, this, that, and the other. I said, and let's get powder and projectiles, powder, primer, and projectiles, right? And I said, you figure out a budget. And I said, we'll start slow. I said, and I will give you, according to that budget, I'll give you a list of powders that you can stock, some primers, and some projectiles. I said, and it'll be stuff that these guys predominantly use, right? I said, so they should turn over fairly quickly, and then you can start to order some more. So he said, okay. So I went in one day, and we sit down, and I don't even remember how much his budget was or what we did, but we ordered like 20-something pounds of various powders and, several thousand rounds of various primers and, several thousand rounds of various projectiles, all stuff that, these dozens of freaking people, I know they use, right? He might have sold like 2 or 3 items over the course of 2 or 3 months. And I was steadily pushing this out to these guys on my social and as well as Facebook and other things that it was out there and whatever. And I actually seen some of these people, the place I told you could get it 45 minutes away. I actually seen people in there buying it during that time too. And it's like, okay, you hounded this guy. He bought it. He put it all in there. It's stuff that you're using, but you're still not going there and buying it, And he ended up selling it actually below wholesale to get as much of his money back as he could to that place, and finally got after money. And as soon as he did, guess what? Everybody starts bitching again about you need to carry it. Why'd you get rid of it?
And the thing a lot of these people don't understand is to make room for those 5 or 7 or 10 different products that you suggested based on the gentleman's budget, he had to eliminate 5 to 7 to 10 other items that might have sold.
Well, that's the thing about it is they wouldn't have. The stuff that I had him order was pretty mainstream for everybody, pretty mainstream powder, projectiles, that sort of stuff. So yeah.
All right. Well, I maybe what I said wasn't clear, but or maybe I'm just not making any sense. Period. But in order to clear up that little bit of budget that he gave you for the reloading stuff, he had to sacrifice other items that he would normally stock or normally.
Oh yeah, I mean that was money. I get what you're saying. That's money he could have spent on something else that turns. Yeah. Inventory that he could have actually turned. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't make you money if it's sitting on the shelf. G, you said you in the chat too, side chat. You said you had something to add before we get too far off topic. What was it, buddy?
As far as restaurants and kitchen and I think if you think of if you're in a restaurant business and you think of it as work of art or something or a commodity, that's where you get sunk. So nobody, to go to your place, nobody owes you nothing, and you're basically you're performing every time. So I would say think of it more of a service. Think of it more as putting on a show. Think of it as more a consumable art that you're not feeding them. You're giving them anticipation for the next experience. Have their time, which is really what they're paying for, is the time they spend with you. And I think that's where restaurants fall into it, is if they think of it as a commodity. You came in here to buy a sandwich, here's your sandwich, get the hell out of here. There's no incentive for anybody to come back. Their incentive is to compare that to other commodities. I get a deal at this other place because they smiled at me, or they had mustard little packets in the bag. You get that kind of pettiness. But the restaurants that don't look back and are successful, the people that go in there feel like they're getting something, and it's way more than food. It's experience, and it's the experience with the staff and everybody. So when they know they're part of it and that they're putting on a show, and it's the time experience of that client that they're offering, they're giving them the full experience. Then people working together, and it's success, especially because there's so much of the comparable, their competition now, and it's almost always just
and that's
burrito fast,
right. And it's something else when you think about it. And the older you get, the more you worry about quality usually. So when it comes down to it, and you're going to grab lunch, or you're going to grab dinner, you're going to grab whatever, if you can spend an extra couple of bucks, literally a couple of bucks, and you get a really great experience, it's worth those couple of bucks. If it's not worth it to you, then it's not worth it to you, and that's fine. But G saying experience, having experience is, and that if he didn't say it, that was what I was going to say was, that the experience is very important. And that's not to say that it's fancy. The experience, having a great experience doesn't necessarily mean that it was white glove, table service, front waiter, back waiter, the whole nine. But
it's atmosphere.
It's everything. Did the hostess, was the hostess really nice when you first walked in? Was everything in place when you got there? Was the server that actually served you? My biggest thing is the exactly. I was going to say, what I usually say is, did I feel like my server was glad that I was there? And I've gone into places and I've felt like they weren't. So that was, that's a bummer. I didn't tip her badly, but I wouldn't tip them badly because of that. But at the same time, if I went back, I might ask for another server if I knew who was working. Request a server. Request servers. That's something you can do. Happens at my place all the time. When people will call in and they'll be like, "Oh, we'd like so and so to be our server." They'll put you in their section, and that's really good, really cool too. You can do it with bartenders too. You can ask who's bartending. Oh, okay, cool. Or when does so and so work again? When you as a employee get requested, you are much more valuable to that business, and thus will hopefully be able to reap the benefits of being much more valuable to that business.
Tell me what night Midnight's working? Monday. Okay, I'd like a reservation for Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't want that dude jacked up my waffles last time.
but seriously, G's comment, and you already touched base on this. It was exactly correct. I mean, it doesn't. When I go out and I'm going out to eat, if I have to pay a little bit extra, and let's say the food is just as good as the place next door, but it's a better atmosphere, the servers are nicer, they're friendlier, They act like I'm not a freaking burden to them.
Yes.
And
That's exactly
anything
what I
like
meant
that.
when I said that. Yep.
Yep, that is what is going to make me go back to that restaurant over and over and over again, rather than go save $2 to $3 and go to the spot next door, where the food might be just as good. But when I go out to eat, and when any of us go out to eat, we're not just going out to fill our freaking bellies. We're going out to get out of our normal house. We're going out to get out of whatever, and forget about life for a little while, and have a good time. And that's
Hmm.
I mean, that's a huge part of it.
That's one of the things that was, or one of the biggest or most all-encompassing teachings that this man that I worked for that just passed away, experience. He's like, you can go somewhere that has awesome servers and the food sucks, or you can go somewhere with awesome food and the service sucks. And either way, you might not go back, especially if the food sucks. I mean, you can have some awesome food and your server can be kind of a dumbass, and you can like, or whatever. But this was dinner was great anyway. Whatever, that they're weak, but and then you can go somewhere where they make amazing cocktails. But if the food and service sucks, then what good is a great drink if you're not happy about the other thing? So experience is a huge part of it. But you as a customer can sort of take some control over that too. When you come into the restaurant, make a reservation always, right? And if you can, make a reservation, ask them what's the busiest time and try and float it before and after that or something. Take advantage of that, because it sucks to be in a restaurant that's getting their ass handed to them. Food's going to be off, service is going to be off, drinks are going to be off. Nobody's perfect. So a lot of people don't think about that. Customers don't think about that. They come in, they want to eat at 7:00. Bam, 7:00. They want their reservation. The restaurant is a freaking hornet's nest, and everybody and their brother's running around like they got the chicken with their head cut off, and they're wondering why it took them 15 minutes to get a drink. Because there's 50 people in front of you. You can only do so much. So make a reservation. Request servers. Is another good thing, and if something goes wrong, just let it slide. Let them know. I will let them know if something's off. Gary says, let's not cut heads off of chickens. All right, sorry, Gary. How about turkeys? Like a turkey with their head cut off. That better?
That's better.
If something's not right, I'm pretty easy. If I'm not cooking it, I'm pretty much happy with it. If I go out, because I'm stuck in a damn restaurant 7 days a week. But if I'm the kind of person, if I get a burger and it's overdone, if I order something mid-rare and it comes out medium or medium well, I'm still gonna eat that goddamn burger and it's still gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm gonna suck it up, and if I don't have to send it back, I'm not sending it back. No.
But I will let them know. I'll let the server know, like, that was really good. It was a little overdone. Just do me a favor and let them know. Just, But I think that's a good learning experience, because if you don't know you made a mistake, then you'll probably make the mistake again.
All right, and here's one thing I want to add on top of that. That is not going to affect my tip when it comes to my service.
Right.
It's not. I'm probably one of the broker people in this room. But when I go out to eat, and I go to an establishment to either have a drink, have appetizer, or eat a meal, I'm tipping 20%. I mean, I've worked in customer service. I did food service when I was younger, when I was, all through high school. And people who have never had the experience of working in such a industry, or even customer service in general, those are the ones who are going to be pissed off that they sat around and had to sip on the water for 15 minutes before their cocktail arrived. Because they're not able to look around and see that this place is a freaking hornet's nest. They're running like chickens with their heads cut off. Sorry,
turkeys
with their heads cut off. but they're doing the best they can. you know.
Yeah. So, all right. Does anybody else have anything to add to it? Any other? If not, I'm going to talk
Would
about
you
some.
people please stop trying to kill Gary?
I know,
Well,
right?
Yeah, you know, I understand people like to eat chickens and stuff, but when you got one in the room, you kind of gotta, you know.
to be fair, you're not a chicken though. Your avatar is just a chicken.
Well, that's
Leave the
why
facts, leave them alone.
that's why that chicken is carrying an AR too. So,
That's
I
right.
mean, that's not a chicken that's going to have his head taken easily. That's a
That chicken isn't
Molon.
carrying an AR. That chicken's carrying a goat gun.
That's true. It is kind of small. Well, you don't know. Maybe that's a 212-pound chicken. You don't know.
Oh, then I'm fucking running the other way. Excuse my language.
That's a lot of cock. Run.
That's right.
Do you guys have anything else? Well, let's talk about gun cleaning a little bit, and then we'll do our bracket.
No, I don't have anything else other than on the note of the Anthony Bourdain thing. Anybody who's out there who's feeling that they have nowhere else to go, you have people you can reach out to. You have
Yeah.
there are resources out there.
And you know,
it's a sad thing, man.
To add to that too, to sort of combine topics a little bit, you know, somebody that is, you know, feeling really bad and, you know, is thinking, you know, feeling suicidal or whatever. Somebody like us that is also into guns, and that's the first thing that really, that's the first thing that popped into my head when they started talking about red flag laws. Is somebody, you know, losing their carry permit, losing, you know, their firearms without due process. Somebody that just might be having a hard time. Somebody that might just need a, you know, I don't want to advocate medicine necessarily or drugs either. You know what I mean? But somebody that just needs a hand in one way or another.
Even someone to talk to.
Right.
You go see a you go see a therapist, and your attitude is no. Right. I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm 100% with you on
I
the
think,
fear.
you know,
on the fear when it comes to how certain states might implement these red flag laws.
That's kind of where I was coming from. Exactly. Is like, all right, so I'm having a bad time. I go and talk to my doctor, and, you know, now the doctor can circumvent, you know, HIPAA. He calls the sheriff and he says, well, I'm worried that this guy's going to do something. And I mean, if you're already feeling pretty bad about yourself, can you imagine somebody knocking on your door and saying, okay, we're here for all your guns, cough them up.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, open. We need you to open up your safe. No, there's a big enough stigma attached to mental illness, or what people want to label as mental illness these days. And those who are out there seeking help and trying to do the right thing I mean, they're not the ones who need to be attacked by these red flag laws. I mean, those who have been adjudicated as mentally ill, I mean, they're the ones who need to, you know, they shouldn't have guns in the first place because they've been adjudicated by a court. So until they go through the proper channels to get said firearms back, and they're better, that they've got through their rough period, I mean, that's a different thing. But hey, I totally hear you, and that's a fear that I personally have just because of my background, and I have it with this whole fixed mix thing. I don't know how it's going to be implemented in my state.
So, all right. Ellis, do you have anything to say on it, or do you want to talk about guns?
What's a gun?
Uh-oh. See, he's playing dumb. Or maybe he's not playing. I don't know.
No, he's not playing.
I have no clue what a gun is.
Hipsters don't play.
It for me.
Well, let's hear if you had one. Let's talk about how you would clean it. Okay.
Throw it in a bucket of soapy water.
That would work for some people. I'm sure people have done weirder stuff.
Black powder. Yeah, they work.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do it with corrosive ammo, right? That would work with
If
corrosive.
it's one of those Glocks, you can put it in a microwave, right? Or a dishwasher machine.
Well,
That's
no,
what I was
I
just
mean,
that's what I was just gonna say. Ellis would just throw it in the dishwasher, would he not?
you know, if anybody out there has little ones, you know, they make those steamer bags to sanitize, sterilize bottles. You could probably just put it in one of those, little water, throw it in the microwave, steam that some bitch. It'd be sanitary, sterilized,
Sure.
nice.
Make sure it's not loaded when you throw it in the microwave, please.
Yeah. If you do it with the 1911, that way, if you cut yourself while you're cleaning it, you won't get an infection. It's like, oh, I cut myself, but don't worry, it's sterile. So what kind of brought me up on this one a little bit, and I know a lot of people have talked about it. You know, Travis P11 did it, and you know, it comes up as a topic a lot in the lobbies. Is how do you guys clean your guns? You go out to the range, you come home, and this is assuming that you clean your guns after every range trip, which I do. You know, how do you do it? And I've been, you know, at work a lot of times I'll throw headphones in while I'm doing, or headphone in and while I'm doing prep, and you know, some topics pop up that you're not really searching for, but you know, they find interesting. And one of them was on Reed Hendricks. I was watching Reed Hendricks from Valor Ridge, and he did a bunch of he's done some cleaning videos. He's done cleaning videos on AK, AR. He did one on his Glock, whatever. And one of the things that he uses, oh my God, Psycho 316 says you can do what Hickok does and drown it in ballistol. I watched his cleaning video for his arsenal, his AK. I swear to God, he must have used a half a can, easy. You know, one of the whatever they're, was it 12 ounce, maybe something, I don't know. I've never seen anybody spray down a gun like that. I mean, it was just dripping. It was crazy. But one of the things I'm going to switch to, just to try, because I'm curious, is I'm going to start getting away from CLP, other than as a protectant, and I might even get away from it from that. I'm going to go back to the old Hoppies #9 solvent, because I've been using that since I was a kid. And something that Reed uses, and tell me if anybody's used this, is I went and I bought a jar, 14-ounce jar of high temp grease from Walmart. It was $3.97 for 14 ounces.
Is it
And
lithium based?
It's lithium based, yeah.
Okay.
It's lithium based. And I thought, why the hell not? Let's try it out, right? And this thing is like, it's almost a pound. This goddamn thing will last me forever, probably. Jesus. But it's only $4, so if I don't like it or whatever, you know, no big deal.
I've got something I got to go grab. So when it's my turn, I'll have it on hand.
So, you know, for the past few years, I've been using CLP for a lot of the stuff, which is nice. It's nice. It sprays on. It's really easy. And I'll use Rem oil too. So I've been switching around over the past couple of years to try stuff. It was always, for years, it was Hoppies #9 and then Hoppies lubricating oil, lube oil. And I don't know, you start learning, you start seeing some of this new stuff or different things that people do. I never really researched this. It's just something that kind of came up and it caught my interest. So I thought it would be sort of fun to talk about and see what you guys do on the regular. I also last year, for the first time ever, used a copper solvent for the bore of my 8mm. As a old rifle made in '43, and that was pretty awesome. I cleaned it really well, and then hit a wet patch of the copper solvent through it, and then a dry patch, and it was like blue. It really brought a lot of the copper off the bore, which I thought was pretty cool. Now I could see people not wanting to do that if it's maybe a precision rifle, because maybe if you've got it tuned really well, that could, I guess, affect your accuracy. I don't know, but
Or
that was a pretty cool product too. That did a really good job.
Or even a newer rifle that you only have, I don't know, let's say 1,000
yeah.
rounds through.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
there's no reason to take a copper solvent to that.
Right.
I don't think.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, we can go through the room here. If Ghost, do you have a link, Ghost, out there if he wants to hop in? So we just go through the room. If you don't have anything to say, that's fine. Just pass it. And if you do, go ahead. Let's talk about it a little bit. Clover?
Let's see. Three things I guess you could say this non-firearm related is Mobile One synthetic grease, Mobile One motor oil, and white lithium grease.
Mm-hmm.
So should probably have those around for sure. And then I do reloading, so I mean you've got some stuff there that spray, for example. There's a couple of those, so they do have some applications when it comes to firearm cleaning and stuff like that. Steel wool, 4/0 steel wool is like a must for sure. And then you've got CLP, obviously, Ballistol. What else? I'm thinking. I use the Hoppy's wipes. I use those a lot. That's usually for the wipes, the field wipes. Okay. I use those a lot. Those are usually because the way I clean is a little bit weird because I have certain ones that get shot like all the time, right? I mean, there's like almost daily. And I'm not cleaning them top to bottom, inside out daily. Like it's just not happening. So my stuff, unless if it's something that I only shoot once a year or once every couple of years or something like that, then it gets a deep clean, stripping it down the whole nine before it gets put up. And then for stuff that gets shot pretty regular, a time interval type thing. I mean, it just gets a mild, like a field strip, mild cleaning. And then just run with it. And then after a few months, a couple tail build up, and when the lubrication, you start to get grit and things like that going on. Then do a deep clean or something at that point. But let's see what else. The Birchwood Casey. What is the gun scrubber? Mm-hmm. The stuff that'll frickin' take the finish off if not careful.
Is that the foaming stuff?
No. No. It's the spray to get I use that for getting like residue and stuff off. Once I'll use like CLP and then 4/0 steel wool if something's really bad. Talking about a part. If it's really bad, I'll use CLP and then the steel wool. And then the steel wool is going to leave a little fuzzies and crap like that a lot of times, right? So then I'll use that Birchwood Casey, like the gun scrubber or whatever, and just spray it. And it'll pretty much spray it all. It'll spray it all off. It's like the aerosol or whatever it can. Mm-hmm. And then oil it up, and it's good to go again for a little while.
One of the things too to go along with the steel wool, if you have an older rifle, a gun that you might have gotten from a family member or you bought super cheap at a gun show or whatever that has some rust on it, the steel wool, the really, really fine steel wool, works good to buff it out. But I had that issue, and I actually went and bought some copper wool that was intended for to do dishes. But the copper is nice and soft.
You got to be careful with that. I'm looking at some now. I'm looking at some Chore Boy.
Has
copper.
to be 100% copper.
You can even take those and put them on a jag, and run through the boards and stuff like that too. That work really well for cleaning. So I didn't think about the copper wool stuff, but definitely be sure it's not the copper coated steel. That's
right. Exactly.
That won't be cool. That won't end well. And then another thing too that I see people. There's nothing wrong with it, I guess, if you want to spend the money and do it. That buy all kinds of fancy brushes, but literally the Dollar Tree 6 toothbrushes for $1. I mean, don't go out and buy special brushes. A brush is a brush.
Yeah. When I went to buy the copper wool, I looked online, and there was copper wool you could buy on Amazon. It was super expensive. And I actually just went to like a hardware store or whatever, or I don't remember if it was a hardware store or a grocery store, and they just had the copper wool. It almost looked like a, that it was intended to do like pots and pans with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you just like we said, make sure it's 100% copper.
Yeah.
Because the old people say the old penny trick, right? They're like, oh, if a penny was made before 19 whatever the hell it was, it's copper, and you just rub it on the barrel. That's a pain in the ass. And you can do the same thing with 100% copper wool. It works great. And then buff it with the 4-aught.
Yeah, like I said, it works. They work great for the bore too. You can you have to cut a little piece off, obviously, make sure it fits and whatever, and then run it through there with a jag, and it works really good. Something else, we're talking about barrels and leading, and use with extreme caution, of course. But the best way to de-lead a barrel, I ain't kidding you, it's old school, and when I tell you what it is, you're gonna know why it's old school. But mercury, I'm telling you, mercury, hands down, bar none, will de-lead a barrel, and it's like absolutely no fuss. You just got to be safe.
Well, there is fuss because you got to worry about working with it.
Well, it ain't fuss if you do it in a safe manner. If you set everything up beforehand, you got your gloves there, and you got a respirator. I reload, I cast, a powder coat. I pretty much got all the safety stuff I need anyway. So. And it don't take much to fill the bore, you know what I'm saying, the bore of a barrel. There's not that much volume to that. So it's not like you're dealing with, gallons of mercury or anything.
And what exactly does the mercury do when it comes to leading? I mean, does it just
it'll eat every bit of that stuff up. Yeah.
And then it'll stop at your barrel material, and it's not going to eat into it. It's not going to damage it. It's not going to hit it.
It'll pull it. I've never had a problem.
Not acid. It's combining with the copper, I suppose.
Okay.
Out of the lead.
Very cool.
Ghost ain't going to join your chat because sophomores don't hang out with freshmen.
Fancy pants. Fancy. So fancy.
What's up, Ghost? How you doing, man?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
What's going on? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, all right. So you're actually next in line. So you want to, I'm assuming you heard what we were talking about. Do you have any tricks of the trade or anything interesting you do, or as far as gun cleaning and maintenance?
I mean, nothing a whole lot. I actually started using not too long ago some break-free CLP.
That's
not
what
bad
I use.
for the it's not bad. It seems to work. I kind of try different things, but I mean the old go-to for the handguns is definitely the Hoppe's 9. I mean, it's just you can get it anywhere. It's good quality stuff. I've never had an issue with it, so that's pretty much a standby.
And that smell takes me back to my childhood, man, because that's the first thing the first gun cleaning kit I ever got was the universal gun kit with the screw together 3 aluminum rod with Hoppe's.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, every time I
no matter where you go, you can find it anywhere. I mean, if you go to find any sporting goods store, hell, even Walmart might even carry it somewhere. If you're somewhere that you forget it, you can go buy them anywhere.
I've got a couple. I've got 3, I think now. Looking over there to see. One piece, Sinclair rods. Sinclair being the brand. I don't know if anybody's familiar with, but that's Sinclair. Sinclair's really nice stuff. Anyway, but I find myself, except for my really precision stuff, and I don't know if anybody else is this way now, going to like the rip cords and the bore snake type stuff. That's just so easy.
Like the Otis, the Otis.
Yeah, the Otis kit, or like I said, the bore snakes, but the ripcord kits. See, with the ripcord kits, unlike the bore snakes, and the bore snakes are nice for that light cleaning that I'm talking about. I use those a lot. But even for like a deep clean or something, the ripcords, you can put a jag on those. You can put whatever you want, right? And it's just so much handier with storage and everything else than and you don't have to worry about, because you want to pull from chamber to muzzle, right? Not muzzle to chamber.
Right.
And a lot of people do that wrong. That's one of the biggest things I see, because it's easy to stick it down the muzzle first, right? Yeah. And if you're using like an Otis or something, then it doesn't require a whole lot of disassembly and especially semi-automatic. That can be a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? To try to break everything down to get a cleaning rod through there correctly and all that good stuff. So, yeah, those any kind of a corded cleaner is actually.
I'm actually in love with the Otis cable. I mean, it's a plastic or polymer coated cable, but it is exactly what you're talking about. On one side, it has a jig to put your patch in, and then on the other side, it has a place to screw in your brush.
And I think the bore snakes have their place, but the bore snake isn't going to get a good clean, like you said. If it's just for a light touch up or something, that's fine. But I think I see too many people trying to use bore snake to actually do a thorough cleaning, and it's just not going to do it. It's not going to do it justice, you know.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you can't. We were talking about, I think, before you jumped on, we were talking about running like I use like a copper, almost like a pot scrubber. You know, it's what it's like, and I use that for like a heavy clean on my bores. And I mean, there's no way to attach that to a bore snake, you know, but you can put that on a jag, you know, on a ripcord or one of those type cleaners.
When I bought I'd always used the 3-piece rods. You know, actually I had the first one I ever bought still. I mean, what the hell? They don't go bad, right? And when I bought my 308, I wanted to sort of treat myself. And I bought a 1-piece rod from Hoppe's Elite. There it is. Right. So, you know, the end's really nice and smooth, really nice and smooth, brass, and it's a carbon fiber. And then the end is brass, which is nice because it's nice and soft. You know, if you know, this thing is awesome. I love it. It's and there's a lot of Tipton makes some nice ones and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, if you get one, you know, if you want to treat yourself to something kind of nice, get a carbon fiber rod, man. They're really nice and stiff, and they're light. They don't bend, you know, like the steel ones do. You feel like the ones I've always felt like when it's the bore is a little bit tight and you find yourself like wiggling and it bends a little bit. These are really nice. I'd recommend it. It was kind of hard to find.
One of the problems I've had, you talk about the 3-piece. When you're starting out, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But the problem that I get is they're 3-piece and they're brass, right? So it's soft and they screw together. Well, that's just that's a locking up, and you know, and you really don't want to put like pliers on it to try to loosen it, because what's going to happen is you're going to scratch that copper, and then you're running a scratched up rod down through your bore. That's not good either.
And God forbid you bend one of those sections, and it's worthless at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's one of those things that I always, when I was younger, I was like, why would I waste my money on that? That thing was like $30-some bucks. I was like, no way. And then I got one. I was like, wow, this is pretty sweet. This is pretty nice. It's a nice little gift to yourself, you know. Ghost, do you have anything else to say? We go to Gizzard.
Oh no, go ahead, man. You guys are doing good.
So Giz, you're a little bit newer to firearms, right? And you were a little bit older when you got into it, so you might have a different perspective as like I did when I was young. You know, you just you know, whatever my grandpa had, that's what we used. You know what I mean? And for him, it was always Hoppe's.
I'm sure Dad cleaned his guns, but I don't remember ever watching him.
Yeah.
So most of what I learned about it, I learned from watching videos, like a lot of new people do. But what I found is there's not any two people that agree on exactly the same way to clean guns. Everybody kind of has their own method. That's why there's so many products out there and stuff like that. What I do is for one thing, I always carry my bore snakes with me to the range when I fire my guns. Yep. And before they go back in the range bag, I always run a bore snake through them at least once or twice just to get the majority of the gunk out of the barrel and stuff like that. Now on a semi-automatic handgun, I'll pull the mag out and I'll actually go up through the bottom and then out the barrel, so that way it gets a feed ramp at the same time and kind of just gets rid of most of the gunpowder and the gunk in there and stuff like it. And I might, depending on the gun, I may put a little bit of Hoppe's No. 9 solvent on the bore snake while it's going through, just so it has a little bit of a clean. But it's not going to be my last clean. But I just don't want to put the guns away dirty and have them sit for maybe a day or two before I get around to cleaning them. It's not good on them.
Now, that you made me think of something there, Giz. And for anybody that uses bore snakes, and I do that too occasionally, I'll put a little cleaner or solvent or something on them. How do you clean them? How do you clean your bore snake?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask the same thing, because I don't use them.
I put it in a sink full of hot water with Dawn or something like that.
Okay.
Is it Red Dawn?
Just a
I've done basically the same thing, but I've just soaked mine in a little. I'm not going to dirty up my sink, so I'm just going to use a little container full of.
You guys ever put them in your dishwashers?
No, negative.
No, I never thought about it.
Washing machine.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
If you put a washing machine, the problem is it's going to get caught up on itself.
Put it in a sock.
The press will stick up.
Put it in a sock.
In a sock.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll put it in a sock, and like in your dishwasher, you know, that little compartment that holds like the knives and spoons and all that.
Right.
The lower level.
But
I put mine in a sock and I put it in there so it doesn't move around, but it still cleans it really well.
So the question is, do you want that lead residue and whatnot left in your dishwasher?
That's why I do it in the washing machine. But okay.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, either or, dishwasher or washing machine. Either you're eating off one or you're wearing the other. So
it's gonna drain for the most part. It's gonna drain out.
It drains out. Yeah.
I hope to God it does. Let's put it that way.
All right. That's been my only reason for not even trying.
I do. I do want to touch on something that Gary just said, and there's a thing that a lot of people don't think about is they don't go up through the mag well a lot. I see a lot of people don't do that, and that's something that people don't really think about, especially with handguns. They think, oh, it's going to pull out the barrel and the slide, clean the slide up, clean the barrel a little bit, and all that. They don't think about going up through the mag well and cleaning that feed tube and all that. So
I know
that's something that if you don't, then you don't have to do it every time, but every now and then it's good to make sure that that's clear.
Well, I do. And that's pretty good, but I mean that's one of the reasons I use the toothbrush, and that's one thing that especially for light cleaning that you see people at the range or whatever, they'll go through. Especially if you're talking like a competition where you're cleaning in between events or you're doing something like that, right? They'll use the bore snake, and that's like, and then like a little bit of oil. They'll put a little bit of oil here and there. That's it. They don't ever focus on that feed ramp hardly at all, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, you got to make sure that's clean, man. Especially if you're a competition shooter and you're relying on.
And I see, and I was just fixing that, and I see more that with when you're talking about small carry pistols. I see people that talk trash all the time. They go, "Oh, that thing won't feed. It won't feed. It won't feed. It won't feed." And I'm like, all you do is lock the slide, drop the magazine, lock the slide back, and I clean their feed ramp, and it feeds fine. It's like if you would clean your feed ramp every now and then, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, but that's like the last thing people think about, but it's one of the most important things to think about,
It has to slide up. If it can't slide up the feed ramp properly, it's not going to chamber.
All right. So anyway, and I do have that Taurus PT-22 of mine. It's notorious after about 50 rounds or so that barrel will get so gunked up that I start to get cases and stuff that'll stick in there, and I have to routinely run the bore snake through there, and then I can usually shoot another 50, no problem. So Clover's right. Sometimes you got to clean on the go. But now when I get home and clean, I normally, like you guys, I clean with Hoppy's number 9. And I will usually oil the slide and stuff with Hoppy's lubricating oil. Now I will wipe down the outside of the gun with, and I got this trick off an old retired police armorer on YouTube, goes by GunBlue490. And he said what he always uses is a microfiber cloth that's had like a tablespoon or two of just plain old drugstore mineral oil put on there and allowed to soak in. And I keep that in a Ziploc bag. And when I'm done, I wipe down the gun with that just so it has a light coat of oil. all the way around on the exposed metal parts and stuff like that, and then wipe that down to where there's no excess oil left over. And that's pretty much anything I do that might be out of the ordinary from everybody else.
Yeah. This you said mineral oil too, and it reminded me. I was looking at this grease I bought, and there's the ingredients are paraffin oil, mineral oil, and lithium soap. But yeah, I think when you were saying, everybody does a little bit different. That's pretty true. I think it's kind of odd how bent out of shape people get when you do something that they don't approve of. I always think that's kind of funny. People get kind of worked up. They're like, I can't believe you do that. That's stupid. I'm like, whatever.
Well, the most important thing is that you do clean,
Yeah. G-Webs, you've been cleaning guns for a lot of years. What's anything that you do that you think might be different than anybody else?
Well, if you were talking about the oils before and all your improvised oils, so let's talk about the kitchen. Peanut oil, safflower oil, butter. That's all the same because it all has oil in it, right? Use them all interchangeably.
Nope.
Go ahead, use them all interchangeably.
Nope.
Oh, wait. How come we can do that with guns? But because they're oil. But with everything else, there's reasons for oil. There's sewing machine oil. That different than motor oil? Or they're the same and they're just suckering us into two different brandings of the same material? So to suggest that just because it works, it's the way to go, I don't think so. A minute ago at the beginning of this whole thing, we were talking about restaurants and how you want a restaurant to go out of don't want a restaurant to go out of business, support them. So somebody's out there taking basically sewing machine oil, which is a much better improvised oil to use for a firearm. You want an oil that isn't going to collect dirt. You want an oil that doesn't wait until it's at 200 degrees to perform, like motor oil. Because motor oil sits there doesn't mean it's doing its job yet. So you want something that's going to do its job and provide lubrication without collecting soot and garbage. So talking half the time about improvising oils and lubes, and then you're talking the other half the time about how much you got to clean your guns. So use the right lubrication for the thing, and maybe the thing operates correct. Just throwing that out there. Otherwise, I'm pretty much the same thing as you guys for maintenance.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially when, depending on what part of the country you're in. If it's hot most of the time, you're talking about humid. If you're talking about if you live in a dry area, I mean, if you're like Arizona, where there's a lot of sand in the wind, dirt in the wind blowing, that's a little bit different than maybe a wooded area, maybe not blowing near as much dirt and stuff like that up in the air to get collected. So yeah, there's definitely something to be said. And then up north, when you get really cold, is that oil going to work? How's it going to work when it gets cold? Do you need some type of other oil and grease?
Northwest as well. So you have cold and you have moisture and.
Yep.
Nobody uses guns up there though.
Right.
Not allowed anymore. It's illegal.
This too hotty guy. He doesn't use it.
That's the one thing that I actually get asked.
He doesn't know what a gun is.
Let me ask you guys this, and I get asked this quite a bit, and I don't really have the issue because I try to shoot my guns relatively frequently, all of them. But there are people that don't shoot guns for a long time. They get them out, and they got a little rust to them and all that, and that should tell you that you need to check your stuff more often. So if you start seeing rust on your gun, then you need to fix whatever you're doing with your maintenance on them, because that's not good.
And the first thing that comes to my mind on that is you need to check and see what the humidity is in wherever you're storing said guns. I have a what do they call the gauges? It is not going to come to me right now. But anyways, it's a humidity gauge, so it tells you the relative humidity. And I try to keep. I do my best to keep mine, between 50 and 60, because that's as low as I can get it. And I mean, 40 is optimal for me. But I mean, I live in the Northwest. We have 6 months of rain a year. and I mean, I do my best to keep it under 50. And if I'm keeping it under 50, I'm doing good. And
yeah.
And if anyone out here is watching this in replay and you're around an ocean and you have salt water, man, you better be checking your stuff regularly because that salt water will do some damage.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, and then I mean, apart from the gauges, it all comes down to your golden rods or your whatever the other plug-in rods that they're called, and then you have your desiccant packs that we can throw in the oven every 3 months or whenever they tell us that they've soaked up as much moisture as they're going to soak up. And it's just it's a maintenance thing. It's a matter of paying attention and staying on top of that stuff so that when you do go to pull that gun out and go to use it, that it isn't covered in surface rust and it's not a 5-hour freaking ordeal for you to fix.
Right. Yep.
Ellis.
I keep it simple, brother. I use hops or hoppies, if that's what you want to call it. We all just call it hops and rim oil. Seems to work.
Old school.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing wrong there. Yeah, that was rim oil. Yeah, it's his accent.
That's the same. That's the same oil he uses for his hubcaps. So you know.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure I just heard Clover say oil and
I said oil. I said rim oil.
No, nope.
I said rim oil. You heard the You heard the ear from the rim.
Okay. I just thought I heard you actually say it right for once. But
you may have. Every now and then I mess up. Every now and then I mess up. Every now and then I mess up. So it's all good. I misspeak.
Yeah. And Hottie, I mean, you were just talking a little bit about more your storage. You know, it is the most important to you, but
storage. Yeah, I mean, in the climate I'm in with all the moisture we have, storage is pretty important. But I mean, after use, I'm very simple. I run a bore snake through it, and then I think it was Clover who mentioned the Otis pull through from breech to muzzle devices. And I will definitely I will run a patch through there. Whether it's usually a CLP or a CLP solvent mix that comes in the same container, and then just a brush through there, and then a couple of dry patches until it dries it out, and it doesn't have to be white glove. Military inspection for me, and then I'll just throw a very, very lightly, and I'm talking rifles here. I'll just throw a very lightly oiled patch down through there, and call that good. And bolts, I mean, I'll take a toothbrush to them, and what I really like is M7 Pro. I'm not sure if you guys have ever used that, but for me, I've noticed it really helps cut down on the carbon buildup. And it makes it a pretty simple, quick and easy task. It does a better job than about any other solvent that I've found. And I'm pretty simple, but I'll wet down a patch and give everything a wipe down, get all the carbon off of it, and then let it dry, or as soon as I do that, I'll give it a quick coat of oil and reassemble it, and it goes back in the safe. And if it's going to be in the safe for a while, it gets a good coat of oil on the outside of it. I mean, not a heavy coat, but a good light oiling. I mean, all the way around any surface that has the possibility of rusting. And I'm good to go on my rifles. Pistols, it's about the same thing, but just with a little, one piece, either aluminum or brass pistol rod that I'll do the same thing with. I'll throw a little jig on there and run an oiled patch to there, or a solvent soaked patch, and do a little bit of brushing. Clean it out.
Did you say you'll do a little jig and then run it through there?
That's what he said. He does a little jig. He does a little dance. Makes a little love. Gonna clean my gun tonight.
Well, we got to have some fun while we're cleaning our guns, do we not?
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I'll do that, and then it's the same. It's the same basic thing. I'll take down any areas that look like they've accumulated any carbon buildup, and then just once again, since I do live in a wet climate, everything does get a light coat of oil before it goes in the safe.
It's
that's
when Too Hottie cleans his guns. It's just like that scene in Flashdance where she dumps the bucket of water on herself, except it's a bucket of Hoppy's oil. It just
Why?
Okay, all right, but
I don't need that mental image ever in my head.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now.
Well,
it's there.
Yep. Sorry.
All right.
My
So
bad.
the M7 Pro for a solvent is what I really like, and I really like the Otis oil. I think it's an Otis 007. I could find a bottle of it around here somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It's 07 or 007, I think.
Yeah. It comes.
Yep.
No,
There's a lot of music when Hottie cleans.
So are you dressed up like James Bond while you do your jig? I'm just trying to figure this out. With an old martini?
I don't know. Do you want me to be?
It's Hottie. Too Hottie.
No, I'd rather not. But you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
You're fast, dude. If you didn't want to know, I'm a big.
I have. Never mind.
I am a big believer. Don't ask questions that you don't want the answer to.
You're right. I shouldn't have gone down that road.
He's a believer.
One of the things. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I apologize. I was just saying that's about it. I'm pretty simple unless I'm doing like my once a year kind of deep cleaning detailed strip where I'll take everything down and just make sure that everything is free of carbon and oiled up. And
well, I sort of feel like I sort of feel like I jumped on a bandwagon with like the CLP, right? Because I never used it, and and then here a year or two ago, I was like, well, holy shit, everybody and their brother's using this crap. I better get some, And I like it. I think it's it works good and it does what it does. But in the back of my head, and this is what made me feel like I wanted to sort of change things up a little bit and maybe try the grease, is I can't get it out of the back of my head that how the hell can something be a lube and a cleaner at the same time? It kind of goes against it. I'm sure it's chemical and it works and it does what it's supposed to do, and I understand that, but in the back of my head I'm like, well, if you're going to put it on there to clean and then put it on there to lube, well, wouldn't that just make itself deteriorate? Like, it's just weird, how can it be both things at the same time? So that's what's kind of wanting me to go back to a cleaner and then a separate lube and just try that out and just see what happens. And at the same time, I feel like, because I don't shoot my guns very much anymore, unfortunately. I feel like there's times where I get them out and they just they seem a little, they seem a little dry. I just feel like I want something maybe that's going to stick around a little bit longer and not drip off or whatever. So,
All right, Travis. So with what you just said, I just forgot that early on in this conversation, I went and dug out my grease because I do use this on my Mini 14. And it's high temperature wheel bearing grease.
That's probably what I have. That's probably the same stuff that I have, basically.
Actually, it's probably a different mixture because this one is.
Mine looks the same, but my stuff's Mobile One synthetic. So
yeah, this is red too. The one that I have is red also.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. If it's not the same, I'm sure it's close. You know what I mean?
No.
Now
There's many companies who are making something that's very,
there
very
is
similar.
there is something that I would like to put out there though about I had some break free. It was a spray. It was a cleaner spray, right? It was sort of like the Birchwood Casey whatever gun scrubber stuff, which is what is that stuff like? I can't even explain it. It's like you
Wasn't
spray it on, it's wet, it
brake
dissipates, it
cleaner.
dries real quick. Yeah, it's kind of like
Brake,
brake cleaner. Yeah,
brake.
you're right. Anyway, the Birchwood Casey, I have never had a problem with it. The break free brand of that stuff, I sprayed that on my youngest daughter's little 22 and it melted the trigger guard.
And
So
let me,
What?
hang on.
I'll tell you what.
Let me guess. Was the trigger guard was a plastic or a polymer?
Yeah.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Clover. I had the
So
same.
I'm saying,
happen.
what I'm saying is when you're dealing with these, I'm not picking on that product. I'm just saying when you're dealing with these cleaners and solvents and different stuff, make sure you read. There's a reason they print labels and stuff. Make sure you read and you know that to keep it away from certain things.
Yeah,
Well, sorry,
I was. No, that's okay. Yeah, real quick. I did the same thing. I have that J22, that little Jennings, and it goddamn thing just has so many problems that I feel bad for it. I feel sad for it. My heart breaks for the amount of issues that this little gun has. But one of the things I wanted to do is when we still had a Gander Mountain, and this was the first time that I went into Gander Mountain, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, well, that guy's a fucking idiot. I was talking to the guy. I said, "Hey, I want to order another mag and see if, having the mag, another mag would help. I only had one at the time. I was like, man, maybe the mag's wonky, and that's part of the issue." And he's like, "Well, have you cleaned the mag?" I was like, "No. I mean, I was young. I didn't know. You know what I mean?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh yeah, and I had it with me to show him the type of mag. It's just nice to have it with you, right?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, why don't you clean this first and we'll see if that helps." I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, "What's the best way to do it?" And he was like, "Oh, just grab a cheap can of brake cleaner and just sort of, and it'll eat away all the solvent. It'll get everything all clean there, and then you can lube it back up." And I was like, "Okay, cool." It was like a couple of bucks, right?
Non-chlorinated though is what
Well,
you
hell, I
need.
didn't know. Well, I don't know.
Right.
And this is what pisses me off about places like this. Is he's like, "Oh, just go grab a brake cleaner, spray it on there, let it rest, a couple times." And the same thing as Clover said. Yeah, I took that thing, I sprayed it on, and the follower just turned to goo.
Right.
And I was like, so I went back in and I was like,
it's shocking when it happens because you're not expecting it, and it seriously does. I mean, it's like it just melts right before your eyes. It's crazy.
Yeah, I sprayed that stuff on there, and then I had like a screwdriver, So I sprayed that stuff on there, and then I took the screwdriver and pushed the follower down a little bit to get it to work. And it just, it was just like it just melted. I was like, what the hell just happened?
All right.
So, like, oh shit.
All right. So yeah, with my Mossberg 870, so my dad used to work at a light trucking and trailer place, and they sell. I mean that grease that I showed you, that's something that they stocked, and they have their own brand of brake cleaner, and I'm sure it's brake free, just rebranded with their company symbol, and so there are two different types. You have non-chlorinated and you have chlorinated. And anytime you're working on a gun and you're using brake cleaner, you want to use non-chlorinated. But the only gun I would ever think about using that on is my 870, and that's on the bolt. I might give it a spray in the actual receiver and down the barrel if I had been out and shot 10 freaking rounds of trap. Yeah, I mean, because it does a very good job at cleaning stuff, and then it dries up automatically. But even with the non-chlorinated stuff, you have to be careful when it comes to plastics, and when it comes to other polymers. It's the non-chlorinated stuff. From my experience, it's not going to melt them, but it may discolor them. So it's going to give it a little white kind of hue. But I'm guessing that the brake cleaner that you guys were talking about was probably chlorinated.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well,
I mean,
why would no my stuff was not brake cleaner. My stuff was in the gun aisle. It came from the sporting goods section. It was brake free. It come from there, and it was called Gun. I don't even know if I got the can around here somewhere. I'd have to look.
Jesus.
It was
That would, I mean, can you imagine hitting that on like a stock or something, you know? Jesus.
Gun scrubber?
I don't think it was gun scrubber. I don't know. That was years ago. And I've got the melted ass, trigger guard to prove it here. So, I mean, it happened. I didn't dream it.
No, I seriously.
But I mean, regardless of what it is, I was just putting that out there as a, whatever you do use. I mean, make sure if it's non-gun related, you need to do your homework and make sure it's going to be okay. But even if it's gun related, even if it comes from the sporting goods section, read the labels and the warnings and all the other stuff, and just be sure.
Because yeah, it may be 100% okay for metal, but the second it touches plastic, like you said, it may melt it, or it may discolor it for good, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah. Yep.
Oh wait, you know what? The pant says in the what the hell's that place called? Gun Channels. Gun Channels chat. He said brake cleaner doesn't attack rubber or plastic like carb cleaner does. Get that crap and oil ASAP. You guys must have used carb cleaner. That's what it was. It wasn't brake cleaner. The dude told me to use carburetor cleaner.
Okay, well, I've never used carb cleaner.
Well, don't.
But then I was just going to say, but then again, you and Clover are the only one who have been talking about having actual plastic melt. So,
it just turned it to like goo.
Well, again, mine was brake free. I know for a fact, and I know for a fact it come from the sporting goods. It either come from a sporting goods store or, but either way, it come from over in the gun cleaning section. So, yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, I would definitely be careful.
I don't have that. I don't have that around anymore. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Before I even jumped on your chat tonight, I broke out the 1911 and intended to clean it while I was on here. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Listening to y'all.
There you go.
And now he's scared about what he's going to use on it.
Midnight's an expert on cleaning 1911.
I ain't the least
I don't even own one, and I did pretty good cleaning it. I mean,
you did.
That's
Midnight.
what. Yeah,
didn't lose any parts.
That's right.
Oh, no, excuse me, not Midnight. Hipster.
My gun is completely safe, dude. Trust me.
Don't pull a night strike and cut yourself and have to go to the hospital.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yesterday out there, he's saying powder blast, powder blast. I think that's what I got on it. I didn't clean it with it. I got some on it. Is what happened. And I think that's what it was. I think it was powder blast.
So
that sounds familiar.
I need a little explanation. So this is the other day when I did that video was the first time I ever took a 1911 apart. What part did Night Strike cut his hand on or his finger?
I asked him about that the other day while I was over there. Me and him had this conversation.
Right.
Apparently, when he said he took it apart to clean it, he took the bat strap off of it. And and why he would do that, I have no clue.
What do you mean the back strap?
You mean the grips?
Yeah, the grip safety.
Oh.
Yeah, he took the grips off.
And there's some very sharp pieces in there, indeed, on most 1911s.
Why he was good for a CCW class.
Why on earth he would do that is beyond me.
I have a theory. I think he's lying. I think he cut his hand trimming the crust off his PB&J, and he just wants to sound more manly about it.
and I didn't even think of that when I was doing that video until just now. I was like, what the hell would I have cut myself on doing this? And I couldn't figure out what. It just occurred to me that I was like, I didn't feel like I was in danger at all.
Think about like Clover saying, if you would have been cleaning your 1911 and then your mom sets down a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you cut the crust off of it, and now you're mad and you're cutting your own crust off. There's a knife flying around.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, and
Oh, he's mad.
But
He's mad
7 stitches though.
You're just
7
blind. You're blind with rage, right?
Ghost. She didn't even cut it on a diagonal. She cut it right down.
Right. That's
She probably cut it into squares.
He's just
See, that's it.
He's just pissed
That's
because
what it was. It wasn't just the crust; it was cutting into heart shapes. Also,
That poses
because he has to cut his own crust off.
That poses an excellent question. One as good as is a hot dog a sandwich? Is do you cut your sandwich down the middle or diagonal?
Down the middle.
I'm a man. I don't cut it at all.
you guys don't use heart-shaped cookie cutters?
Well, if you do, then you got to eat the crust anyway.
Oh man, I should have said that out loud then. I guess
not gonna be. What are you throwing pieces of sandwich away?
What could have happened is Night Strike was using a 1911 shaped cookie cutter and cut his hand.
I could see that. Yeah,
that might make it more manly.
What?
Yes.
And he just placed his hand underneath the sandwich.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, people are always talking about.
I don't think we'll ever know.
People are always talking about how guns are dangerous, and I did that cleaning, and I was like, I didn't feel like I was in danger the whole time. I don't know.
Well, it's because you're not Night Strike. That has nothing to do with the actual firearm you're cleaning. See,
I will say this: when I first took the when I moved the when I took the spring out, I could totally see how that goddamn thing could end up in another room. That thing, it's got a lot of tension on it.
Some of them are very tight. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I have watched the disassembly and reassembly videos, and yeah, I can see how that might happen.
Yeah, it had a lot of boing.
The old timers come up with a little trick to keep that from happening. They would release the slide before they took the nut off, and that relieves the pressure on that spring.
Yeah, I saw a video that showed how to clean them that way.
So you just take
so you relieve the pressure off the long thing before you touch the nut. Okay, I got it.
Well, then you don't. I mean, if you do that, then you don't need to touch the nut anyway, do you? That's just.
I like to touch the nut.
If you're gonna take the barrel out,
goes. You're in one of them moods tonight, aren't you, my man?
He was just on vacation. He had a lot of barrel and nut issues, probably.
He's got some pen.
Well, that was hitting hard there, Midnight. That was hitting below the belt.
No, man.
Well,
I've never had a problem with my nut, but you know.
The question is, has your wife ever had a problem with your nut?
Well, that's a whole different issue.
I was just going to say that. Has the wife, though?
We're not discussing her right now. We're discussing my own problems.
You can go ahead and deflect all you want.
We can bring her into this conversation, ask her personally.
Oh no, we don't want to.
I'd rather not.
We don't want to get his ass kicked by his wife for bringing her into said conversation.
Over in over in Gun Channel's Pants says he said 7 stitches. He said he cut his finger down to the bone with a razor blade and only needed 4. I did the same thing. I went into this knuckle, across this knuckle down to the. You could see the joint, see the white, and I think that was 4 or 5. Yeah, 7 is pretty gnarly. And he says, "Shit, I need a CNC mill. I need to take over the 1911 cookie cutter market." There's a market out there, buddy. Oh, yours. Go get it. Go get after it. All right. So, all right, that was pretty fun talking about
Oh,
gun cleaning.
I've got something to add because we're
No, go ahead.
we're talking about cleaning guns, and there may be somebody
Right.
out there wondering this, and we haven't actually covered it. Black powder. Does anybody have black powder, and how do you clean those?
I do not.
I only have a little cannon, and I can't find it because I put it in a.
He can't find his cannon.
No,
He said he can't find his cannon.
no,
is what he said. It's like,
no,
good Lord, honey.
How does one clean a cannon?
No, I'm dead
I
serious.
just want to lose a cannon, and he can't find it. He's like, I don't know what to do with that damn cannon.
I said it's a small cannon. It fits in one of them. It fits in one of them Winchester 22 boxes that you get 500 rounds in. So I put it in that, and then I put it in a Crown Royal bag, and I took it up to the mountains. I took it up to the mountains. I played around with it. I got it home. I fucking washed it out with soap and water, warm soap and water, and all that stuff, and it's lost in the garage somewhere. And it'll show up sooner or later. But
the funniest, what's even more funny than the fact that he lost his little cannon, is that it's the most white trash way to transport that thing in the history of mankind. Oh, I put it in a cigar box and in a Crown Royal bag, and I take it to the mountains.
Well, I know it made it home from the mountains because I cleaned it after that. So,
oh, that's funny. I like that.
It is in the garage somewhere.
I can't say much. I can't. My 308 has an extended bolt knob, and I have to take the bolt out to get my case closed on it. So I put my bolt in a Crown Royal bag too, and put it in there. So
dude, I'm telling you, the Crown Royal bag is the most useful thing in the world.
They are.
And I have so many of those things laying around, just from my high school days, and then my days where it was half-gallon days. So I have everything from the 5th size up to the. Dude, I can make a blanket out of them things. But
I've seen that. I've seen people do that. They've made them into like quilts and stuff. It's pretty crazy. But you know what you should do?
I'm just gonna save them until I've run out of freaking pants, and then I'll make a pair of pants out of them.
What you need to do is take them, and you need to make yourself a shooting jacket out of them, where you put like one on this arm, one on here, and then one on your shoulder, and then one on this elbow, and you make yourself a shooting jacket out of it.
I thought you were going to say a smoking jacket. I was like, oh, please don't.
Well, hang on, Midnight. Are you saying and leave them a bag so I can actually put a little piece of padding in there? And
that's not a bad idea either. Sure, you can do that.
All right.
You could just put some packing peanuts in there, packing popcorn, and stitch it shut, and you'd have a nice little
No,
when you go out and shoot.
Why would you need to stitch it shut? It has a drawstring, dude. Come on.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Come on, man.
There you go. We are solving the world's problems tonight. I will tell you what.
One cannon at a time.
That's one little baby cannon. That's right.
I still got to tear the garage apart and find that thing, but that's going to be a rough day.
Yeah, it would be funny if you had to, you should call the cops and be like, hey, I lost a cannon. What do I do? And watch and see what they say.
Just sit there and say, yeah.
What?
No,
it's not. I had a cannon and I put it in a Crown Royal bag in a cigar box, and I can't find it. Can you guys help me on this?
I think somebody might have stole my cannon.
They're going to sit there and say, sir, stay right there. We're going to send some help on your way. It's going to be a guy with a straitjacket or something.
When you do find it, you should mount it on like your car or something. So
like a hood ornament, man.
Yeah, you could be a road pirate.
Hang on, you don't understand. The reason that it was in I could turn my camera on, but you guys know the Winchester boxes that you get bulk 500 rounds in, and from Cabela's and whatnot. So I mounted it on the underside of the top of one of those so that I could turn so that I could turn it around and I could put the top back on, and I could pack fuse in the rest of the box, pack black powder in the rest of the box, and pack the 32 caliber projectiles in the rest of the box. And dude, that worked out awesome. But it was such a small little package that now that it's in a Crown Royal bag, and after it got put back in there and cleaned, I forget where it actually went. So it'll show up sooner or later.
Hopefully the garden gnomes didn't come in and steal it.
They could have, but I haven't heard no bangs outside, so I don't think they got to it yet.
The Pants says he cleans his black powder revolver with Ballistol, but when it gets real gnarly, hot water and dish soap, then Ballistol. You got to go watch. Hickok's AK-47 cleaning with Ballistol. There's more Ballistol used in that video than all of YouTube put together.
Well, he gets paid by the bottle by Ballistol.
He must.
I believe.
Ballistol. I don't pronounce it that way.
Yeah, I've heard people say, they pronounce it Ballistol.
Like ballistic, right? Ballistol.
Why does that not surprise me, Clover?
Well, I've heard it both ways. It's not. Yeah,
I use that with. I use a 75 Ballistol 25 water solution for my black powder. Actually, I probably should do a video on it one of these days. But I actually have like a pump system that I devised, which is pretty neat. And it works. I mean, if you're talking about black powder that uses, if it's cap and ball, right? If it uses a nipple, and you take, you can pick up nipples. Tactical. If you have a tactical nipple on your black powder.
All I heard was nipple, cap and ball, and pump. I'm just saying.
You're supposed to cover. Cover them.
I see a future Midnight video where he takes all of my comments out of context and then edits them together. It's gonna be really bad. Anyway, no, what I do is I take that.
Busy for that.
Well, it's going to sound really bad here in a minute. Then I can already tell you, but I take that and I put it in and also use boar butter, by the way, to finish up. That's like
you're just making it too damn easy, bro.
I know, right? But boar butter you can take and put that stuff.
Using butt butter.
Boar butter.
Anyway, let me tell you my process, and then you can pick on me. But Ballistol and boar butter, yeah. So take your 75-25 solution and put it in you can put it in a Dr. Pepper bottle, or you can put it in a. I use like one of the medium-sized Gatorade bottles is what I use. Then get you some surgical tubing, or not surgical tubing, but like over with the fish tanks, right? Like you hook the aerators or whatever up to. Get you some of that, and usually that'll slide over the black powder nipples fairly tight. Now just follow me now, and then you can take and you can drill a hole. Listen to me. Drill a hole in the lid of the.
Why would I want to drill a hole? And quit calling her a hoe.
I said a hole in the Gatorade bottle in the lid, right? So run the tubing down till it's just slightly above the bottom.
Outlaw has one of those homemade things too. You got a Gatorade bottle.
Sure, he does. Yeah, it's a redneck catheter. Anyway, then I take and put some hot glue. You want to seal off where it goes through the lid. But listen to me.
You keep Outlaw out of closing.
Then here's what you can do. Then you take.
You weren't drilling a hole into this nipple.
But listen, then you take your patches, right? Put your patches on your rod, and you want it. Then when you run the, like the Cleanin rod, which is also the ram rod or whatever on most of them. But anyway, then you wet those patches as well with the Ballistol mixture before you do it. Run them down. Well, when you do, it's going to seal, and y'all are going to laugh and whatever. But whoever's listening out there, they may actually find this informative. But anyway, it's gonna listen to me. When you push the ram rod down, right? Okay, it's gonna create a suction on that bottle. And it's gonna pull the cleaning. It's gonna pull a suction on the bottle. It's gonna pull the cleaning mixture as you pull back on the ramrod, pulling it out of the barrel. It's gonna pull that mixture up into the barrel through the nipple. So it's gonna clean the nipple. Clean the barrel. Seriously.
I was very curious how the ramrod interacted with the nipple. So.
That's how it works.
This is fucking gold.
Oh my god. Oh man, it kicked him out. He was having too much fun.
It was just too difficult. So then once you're done, what's cool is everything in the barrel. Push after you get done with that, then everything that's left over, all the crud and stuff, it'll collect in the bottom of the Gatorade bottle, and then you can strain that as it gets more and more nasty, I guess. But yeah, it works pretty well. And then dry it out. Dry patch it really good. Compressed air works really well too, but dry patch it really good. And then use that boar butter on the external. Run you a patch with boar butter through the bore. Put a little boar butter on the nipple. Yeah, I know that sounds all horrible.
Hey, Culver, you are lucky I'm not a video guy, because I would go back.
I don't care. I mean, you can laugh all you want. There's probably there's potentially somebody out there going, "Hey, that's cool. I need to clean my black powder rifles anyway."
That is totally true. That is totally true.
There's just no way to say it without it being funny, because it is.
It doesn't mean we can't get any joy out of it.
I tried to be as clean and nice with it as what. I didn't say anything about stroking the rod down the barrel, up and down the barrel.
No, you didn't.
But I could have used that
Until just now.
Yeah, but I could have used that terminology. So.
Oh man, I had a rough couple days. That was good. That was good laugh. That was good times, man. We got to. Yeah, Jorge said it out there. I was waiting to say it too. Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod. Better than a Nimrod, right?
That's true. I've seen a lot of Nimrods clean fucking guns. Yeah, for sure. I've watched people. We're talking about the three-piece cleaning rods. Yeah, and you got to take it easy with them. Make sure really, right in line with the bore or whatever. I've watched guys just go, and the whole thing just curls up into like a question mark. Like, oh my god, what are you doing, man? How much force do you think you need to get that goddamn thing down the barrel? Oh man,
are they pushing them from the breech to the muzzle, or are they pulling?
No. What they did is they bought a 12-gauge brush, and they're like, "Well, I'll just buy a bigger brush than I need and use it on everything."
Yeah. If the correct size cleans it, a bigger size will clean it more, and that's how it works. Digger Joe says this is too funny. I can't wait to clean my guns. See, we've promoted clean firearms today. That's what we've accomplished, and that's good.
Hell, at least we accomplished something tonight.
Yeah. Right? Hey, you know what? It's been fun. That's what's important. So, you want to knock out a quick bracket? It's not a big one. It's only got like 8 on it.
I threw at least a few in there when you were asking for
let's do it.
Earlier on, so.
I did things for Chef Mike. That's another restaurant term if you don't know it. Chef Mike, the microwave.
So I want you to be clear. Is this for actually cooking from raw to eatable, or is this reheating, or
I don't know. This is just
somewhere in between, or
it's whatever. This is just a goofy bracket. It doesn't matter. It can be whatever you want it to be. Who cares? Yeah.
All right.
So it's things that you're going to use old Chef Mike to cook. You're going to ask Chef Mike to cook for you. Do you want me to run down all of them? I did, and I'll tell you what. Let me run down all of them. If you guys have any that fit in here better, we'll switch them out. Okay. So I got burrito, hot dog, hot pocket, popcorn, breakfast sandwich, a loaded baked potato, a frozen pizza, and mac and cheese. Anything you guys think should be out and that we could add, make it more fun?
I know something you can add.
If I add one, then I'm going to have to add like
If you add one, all you gotta do is add one more, right?
Yeah, but you get the
No,
perfect number now.
yeah, it has to be. We would have to add like 4 more
All right. Well, then never mind.
without doing like, unless we did like a buy. You know what I mean?
No. It's all good.
So who's cooking this again?
What were you gonna add?
Yeah. What did you think was a good one?
I was gonna add a quesadilla.
No, that's free. You can't get a quesadilla in a bag.
Yeah.
What about soup?
What makes you think a quesadilla has to be in a bag to make it go in a microwave?
Because that's a microwave burrito, right? That's in a bag.
Right.
No, all you do is you take a flour tortilla, you put some cheese in it, you throw it in the freaking microwave.
Hey, run down the
fold it in
list.
half.
Run down the list again. What was
That's
it?
quesadilla.
Okay. Burrito, hot dog, hot pocket, popcorn, breakfast sandwich, baked potato.
That's
frozen
fine.
pizza.
That's far enough. I didn't hear breakfast sandwich the first time, and I'm like, what?
Okay.
Got to be a breakfast sandwich on there.
And
Are
then
all-
pizza and mac and cheese.
Are all these things supposed to be like in a single serving bag out of a freezer?
I guess most of them could, right?
Because if
I mean-
if you're talking like sitting around in a kitchen and you got all kinds of materials, then what Heidi's talking about, who the hell's going to make a baked potato compared to folding a quesadilla in half or a tortilla in half with cheese in there?
Oh, that's fine. I just think, I mean, I think a baked potato would turn out pretty good. That's kind of why I threw it on there.
Baked potatoes turn out awesome if you. I mean, they cook them super fast. If you
Ramen.
need a fast baked potato in the.
Bacon is not on the list.
Because bacon sucks in the microwave.
Baking in a microwave. And then what about
Yeah,
ramen? What about ramen?
it's
Isn't that a microwave food?
No,
Yeah,
ramen. Ramen.
No.
That's boiled water, dude. That's all that is.
Yeah,
Ramen
but-
in the microwave though.
Yeah.
Anybody in an office.
That's boiled water, though. I mean, that could go for how many things? Hot chocolate, hot apple cider.
Well, we do have mac and cheese on there. I mean, we have mac and cheese. Mac and cheese and ramen is, I mean, it's basically pasta. You know,
Well,
But they sell ramen in cups designed to be microwaved.
that's
like
true.
We'll eat that every day for breakfast.
hey, they also have though like the Chef Boyardee stuff.
That's true.
True. And more than a bacon potato.
But there's like millions of different flavors. So, I mean, you can't really choose.
Spaghetti and meatball.
Okay. What do you want to get rid of mac and cheese and put that?
Well, there's also you can just say-
let's
Well,
just
G's arguing
start
the baked potato. How long does it take to cook a baked potato in the microwave?
5 minutes.
3 or
Well,
4 minutes.
Are we
No.
talking kind of frozen thing that's already made and you're reheating it? Or are you talking like a potato with saran wrap and you're like fucking
Which is why I asked the question, and he said it's kind of all over the board on this one. So, and that's why I threw in the quesadilla thing, because it's simple, easy, and you cook it in the fucking microwave.
Bam, boom, bam.
So if
Hey.
you want us to come up with like 3 or 4 more, it's that. I think we can do that in like 30 seconds, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, you want to add ramen? Let's add ramen.
Add ramen.
I
Add
can give you
quesadilla.
another one to add. I can give you another one to add if you're wanting to add one.
Yeah.
It's just basic, like leftovers. Just leftovers.
Doesn't have to be leftovers. My wife fixed that. We've been eating that keto pizza, and it's in containers. I mean, she like made it up and then put it all in containers, and I got like 15 containers of keto pizza in the freezer right now. So it works great for like taking your lunch somewhere or something like that. I mean, it's great. Cook it all ahead of time, freeze it, microwave it later.
What's this keto thing? Is this the new
Wasn't
fad
there,
diet?
wasn't there a kind of pizza that people make in a microwave? Like a
Yeah, I have pizza on there.
Totino's.
Yeah, like
oh
pizza
man,
rolls.
the bagel bites are the best thing in the world. Bagel bites.
Okay. Yeah,
Bagel
I got
bites are
frozen.
good too.
I got frozen pizza, so we'll turn that into bagel bites.
what about
Pizza
waffles?
rolls are good too.
What are they?
Waffles
Spring roll?
don't go in the
Those
waffles.
Totino's pizza rolls. Yeah, I just do pizza. Just do
But
pizza.
you can do
do
the
whatever
frozen,
you want.
You can do the frozen pancakes in the microwave.
I see the frozen thing. I don't know where people put them in the toaster or in the microwave.
We've always put the waffles in the toaster, but the pancakes in the microwave. Because you want the pancakes soft. I don't want my pancakes toasted.
You got to put like a wet paper towel on them or something then?
All I know is Seattle's self-service sucks, Hottie.
Is it me that keeps dropping? Well, you know what's... No, well, I have full freaking Wi-Fi right now, so I don't know if you can blame it on me, but if it's me, I'll take the blame.
Notice that it's always the gun channels that kicked out on the phones?
Right?
Conspiracy? I don't know.
All right. So we're adding ramen. We're going to add a Chef Boyardee kind of stuff. And we need 2 more. What was the other 2? Quesadilla. Okay.
Soft pretzels?
That's a good one. Ooh, those are both good ones.
Well, corn dog / hot dog would be the same thing. That pretzel's a really good one.
Yeah, pretzel. Okay, we'll do soft pretzel. Yeah, we got hot dogs, so we can change that.
That should be a corn dog. There's no such thing as like a hot dog that you pull out of a freezer and stick in a microwave.
Yeah, there is. But
corn there is. Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll do corn dogs. That's a better one anyway. Okay, so there we go.
Well, I want to go on record. I didn't know that was a thing, and you should all be ashamed of yourselves that that's a thing. That's
I want to go on record and ask if quesadilla actually made your list.
Yeah, I put it on there.
Oh, okay.
All right. He feels bad for you, Hottie. It's a pity.
I didn't want you to drop out of the chat again.
No,
all right.
The Seattle cell service, even though I'm on Wi-Fi.
Oh, this first one is tough right off the bat. Clover tag, burrito or corn dog?
Burrito.
Oh, wasn't tough for you, huh?
Not even tough.
A corn dog? I mean, in the microwave, it's going to be like all soft and mushy, and it's not going to be like a corn dog. Burrito's going to be.
That's true. I guess it is quality issue.
But burrito's supposed to be nasty sauce, so I'm going corn dog.
He's going corn dog? There you go.
Corn dog. I'm just going to vote opposite of what Clover says.
Okay, well, I know that your votes don't count for shit now. I'll just move on. Gizzard. Corn dogs got corn on them. Chickens like corn.
Corn dogs are nasty. Burrito all the way.
All right. G-Webs.
I don't own a burrito or a microwave, and I've never owned a microwave, but the only thing I would eat out of a microwave is probably the burrito. Never a corn dog.
Mm-hmm. Ellis. Raccoon is not on the list. Possum is not on the list, unless it's a possum corn dog.
It's not a possum corn dog.
So. I'm the one that threw corn dog out there, so I'm going with corn dog.
Mm-hmm. Hottie?
Burrito.
All right. And I'm going to do I love corn dogs, but I think they were right earlier when they're saying that the quality of the burrito is not going to suffer, but the quality of the corn dog is, so burrito gets it.
In Matt's chat, we can see the bracket.
Yeah. Well, Matt's got a lot more subs than I do, so.
And he's better looking.
Yeah, and he didn't set this up in 10 minutes. When Matt works 90 hours a week, then we'll see how his chats turn out. Hot Pocket versus popcorn. Ooh, that's kind of tough, right? Because popcorn definitely is it's better.
And there's a million flavors of Hot Pocket, though.
But Hot Pockets I'm going to go Hot Pocket. Just because maybe they'll see this and they'll sponsor us.
I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you.
I wouldn't either, but maybe then we'll get sponsored by Hot Pocket, and then we can afford to put the bracket on screen. Too hotty.
All right. Is kettle corn the same thing as popcorn?
Sure. There's whatever flavor you like.
All right. Well, anyways, Hot Pocket.
Ellis.
Hot Pocket.
Oh, G-Webs.
Hot Pockets are disgusting, and we should all shamed. Popcorn is legitimate, I guess.
And for the first time in my life, I'm going to say that G Webb's is wrong.
There's dissension in the ranks. Gizzard.
A, Hot Pockets are nasty. B, they will burn the living bejesus out of you after you get them out of the microwave. So I'm going with popcorn here.
See, you said that, and then I thought you were going to say, so Hot Pockets.
Good God, no.
People get or eat Hot Pockets because they like that. They're looking.
Right.
Well, they can eat all the damn thing then. I don't.
You want it. Sometimes you got to live dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Ghost.
One of my favorite things in the world is popcorn, so gotta go popcorn.
Oh man, it's all up to Clover.
I've never. What?
It's
all up to me. It's over then.
Yep.
I have never went into a movie theater and asked for a Hot Pocket. So, popcorn.
Right.
Has a movie theater ever cooked their popcorn in the microwave?
Well, either way.
I never went into a theater and asked for a porterhouse either, but their porterhouses are pretty awesome.
Well, I'm just saying, popcorn's one of them you eat all the time.
Right.
It's good. It's freaking good.
I guarantee you a porterhouse of a microwave isn't awesome.
Probably not.
I wouldn't think so.
That's why I always carry a blowtorch with me, just so you can get that sear on the outside, you know, just in case. Okay, so breakfast sandwich, whatever kind of breakfast sandwich you like. I mean, they make the frozen breakfast sandwiches, right? Or a loaded baked potato. I know it still takes a little while, but quality-wise, baked potatoes actually turn out pretty good in the microwave. And then you can put bacon and cheddar and sour cream or whatever the hell you want on there. So, Clover, you're up first.
Breakfast sandwich.
Ghost.
Hands down, breakfast sandwich.
Okay. Gizzard.
Oh, breakfast sandwich. But it's close.
G-Webs.
Microwaves are disgusting and ruining our country, but at least a potato has at least some redeeming value out of those two options. Breakfast sandwich, we're fucking dying as a country.
So you're saying baked potato, I guess, huh?
Yes.
All right. See, G-Webs is for the farmers. He's for the little guy. Outlaw.
Breakfast sandwich, of course.
Son of a bitch, breakfast sandwich takes it.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, I was going baked potato. Hottie, what would you want with?
Baked potato.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, just baked potato with some cheddar and bacon, some scallion, sour cream. I don't know.
Steak.
I'm using a microwave. I don't have time for all that crap. Breakfast sandwich.
Put it in the microwave. You hit whatever 15 minutes. You go. You clean it done.
I can eat a whole box of breakfast sandwiches.
Dude, it's not even 15 minutes, I don't think. But
You're taking a raw potato, poking some holes in it,
Right.
put it in water,
Yes.
wet, and then put it in like saran wrap or in like something like a
Paper towel.
paper towel,
No,
and then put it there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
It depends on how big it is, I guess. You know?
Usually.
You poke your holes in it and you throw it on a plate. I don't think you wrap it. You have to wrap it in saran wrap or anything
Then
like
you
that.
got to get all that other crap out. If you have it around the house, the sour cream and the cheese and the bacon.
Oh my goodness! You got to open the fridge and you got to get out your condiments.
Well, if I'm going to do that, what's the point of the microwave?
Oh my
I gotta
god!
I'm going to go through all that hassle. I'm going to go to McDonald's and buy
I'm going to
that.
meat to something gun. I want to spend half an hour.
All right. You guys.
Gary doesn't want to do all the prep work. That's what it is.
Oh, he doesn't even want to open. He doesn't even want to open the fridge.
Might as well have Chef Travis cook it.
That's why we use microwaves, because we're lazy.
Gary leaves a breakfast sandwich on the table all the time.
You still got to open a fridge or a freezer in order to use your goddamn microwave. So what's the point? Whether you use it before your stuff is cooked or after your stuff is cooked.
Well, here, I'll tell you what. If you want to save time, you can save time by not opening the microwave door. You could just throw the potato right through the door of the microwave. Save yourself that time. where you have to open it with a sandwich. I mean, it's just
gamma rays, exiting out. I mean, you got all sorts of stuff. You want to be like the Hulk or something, you know?
Well, I can go into a convenience store and buy a breakfast sandwich, but you usually can't buy a potato.
I'm going to start that. That's going to be my new thing. You can come in, you order a fresh baked potato and some dipping sauce, and you just dip it.
Get a drive-through baked potato. That's
there you go.
Good.
Wendy's used to do it.
I have done that. Baked potato with chili and cheese and taco sauce or taco meat. Yeah.
General relativity says baked potato is microwave food. Loaded baked potato is like real cooking. And he says microwave food shouldn't have prep. So, okay, breakfast sandwich it is. All right. So I'm on this one. Bagel bites, mac and cheese. That's bagel bites all the way. Hottie?
Ooh, this one's kind of tough. Are we talking like good quality mac and cheese? And
holy shit, dude! Just answer the fucking question.
Hey, have it however you want. Just mac and cheese.
Ghost, you just calm your ass down, all right?
If you gotta be fancy, but yeah.
Dude, I'm up 4 past my bedtime. I'm cranky, and I want to get this shit done with. Put the fucking microwave. Let's go.
Well, I'm sorry if you're in a hurry, but I'm not. All right, mac and cheese. Jesus Christ.
Ellis, a microwave is like a TV that helps you heat food up.
Yeah, well, I know what that is, you asshole. And speaking from someone who absolutely hates macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
I'm going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck macaroni and cheese.
Only because you have to clean the fucking dishes every day.
Hashtag fuck mac and cheese.
I don't like the taste of macaroni and cheese.
No.
G-Webs.
I'm not a fan of noodles, dude.
Mm.
Fuck bagel bites, macaroni and cheese.
Boy, you and Ellis used to be friends. I remember when you guys were cool. Gizzard.
Well, anybody who doesn't like mac and cheese is un-American as far as I'm concerned. I've never had bagel bites, so I'm going with mac and cheese.
Gary, my guy. My fucking
Ghost, I think I know where you're going.
Traitor.
Bagel bites bomb, dude. You gotta go bagel bites.
And it takes it, but what do you think, Clover?
I would have went mac and cheese.
Bagel bites takes it by 1.
What about you? How'd you vote?
I went first. Bagel bites.
Oh, you fucker.
Yeah, that's me. So here we go. Ramen noodles, any flavor you want, and Chef Boyardee stuff, any flavor you want. Clover.
That's a hard one. That's a Sophie's choice.
And yeah, because they both suck.
Huge difference in price is one of the problems that I'm facing here. Because I want to say Chef Boyardee, but good Lord, ramen is so cheap, right?
Right.
Since when was price a standard of?
Okay, fine. Hottie's right. Chef Boyardee. Moving on.
Okay. Ghost.
Chef Boyardee for sure.
Okay. Giz.
Ramen noodles.
G-Webs.
Ramen.
Ellis.
Ramen.
Uh-oh. Hottie.
Chef Boyardee. The only way I'll eat ramen is if it's raw and I crunch that shit up and then put the flavoring on it.
Well, that's fucking weird, but okay.
Yep.
All right, so it comes down to me. Oh, man. Ramen or Chef Boyardee? Yeah, it's a tie.
Are you gonna betray your fellow chef?
I know, right? Chef Boyardee. He was a real dude. And he was pretty pimp. He was pretty badass in real life. So I'm gonna go Chef Boyardee just to give him props.
Ramen was a real guy.
No.
Raymond Ramen.
Raymond.
Raymond.
Is it that? Is he the one with that television show? The guy that talks like Kermit the Frog?
Shit. Heard it all now.
Okay, so quesadilla versus soft pretzel. I'm gonna go soft pretzel. Hottie.
Oh my goodness. God, this quesadilla was mine, but the soft pretzel out of the microwave, as long as I have the right condiment to go with it, which is nacho cheese, soft pretzel.
Right.
Oh, he doesn't even vote for his own fucking quesadilla.
No shit.
He's like, I wouldn't vote for that. That shit sucks.
Well, I didn't know what it was going to be paired against, so give me a break.
Hey, get that shit on there so nobody can vote for it. Ellis.
Quesadilla.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, what the heck?
You know what it is? You know what it is? He's missing a tooth, so he needs that soft shit.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. G-Webs.
Because the pretzels scare him. It looks like a snake. Oh, it's just a pretzel.
No snack on snack.
no step on pretzel.
Them pretzels right out of a microwave, or I guess a decent way to use a microwave, even though it's radioactive.
The radioactivity helps the salt stick.
But if we're not talking something out of a bag, right, out of a freezer, then folding a quesadilla or folding a tortilla and put, if you call that prep, then you're wrong. That's correct. But I'd rather make it on a fry pan. I mean, you can make it out of the microwave.
Oh yeah.
Toaster oven.
Or even I was gonna say, or the oven.
Never done a
I'm
quesadilla.
going with pretzels because pretzels are shit.
Yep.
But pretzels have a toaster oven that are better.
Yeah. Giz.
Pretzel.
It's because they're deep fried.
G-Host.
Gotta go pretzel.
And Clover.
I've got a question first.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever seen a quesadilla made with a corn tortilla? And if so, what is that actually called?
No, I
Yes,
don't.
Fun, but
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess.
I've seen those before, and they're pretty good. But is it actually? I don't know if it's actually a quesadilla if it's made with a corn tortilla, but like a soft corn tortilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know
I
what
don't
you're
know, I
saying.
guess.
I don't know.
it wouldn't be a
I've
taco.
always seen flour.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess it's just like anything else. Like you could.
It's like a flat taco, I guess.
Yeah.
You want to say tostada? It's like a tostada with a lid on it, right, or something.
With a lid on it, yeah.
Down
It's
here
just
where
a
they're-
lazy.
Where they're making the tortillas every day, though, corn is, soft like a flour almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when you use masa and you make it with masa.
Yeah, they're really pressing them and making them right there. I mean, these good stuff.
Yeah, but I would go pretzel.
Okay. Pretzel kicks ass on that one. Everybody's right except for Ellis.
Pretzels. Too damn salty for me. I don't like a lot of salt.
Well,
I usually I rake the salt. I rake the salt.
Or not put it on there, but all right.
What?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ellis, for voting for the one thing I put on there.
All right.
Even though I didn't vote for it, but thank you anyway.
Clover, you're up first. Burrito versus popcorn. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's easy.
Yeah, it is pretty easy for me. But this is Clover.
Popcorn.
Oh, stuff.
Ghost.
Popcorn.
Gizzard.
Burrito, one of my favorite things.
G-Webs.
Popcorn.
Outlaw.
I'm going with the cock.
I bet.
Again?
Yep.
He loves the cock, doesn't he?
Which was what? I can't remember what he got.
Burrito.
What?
Burrito. Too hotty.
Burrito.
It's a tie again. I'm doing burrito.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, popcorn.
Up there,
All
right
right.
there.
So we're down to this one might be tough. Bagel bites versus a breakfast sandwich.
Oh.
I don't have a vote on this. Ghost can have mine.
Oh well, there you go.
Oh yeah.
That's 2 for
So
bagel bites.
now here's the thing. So if you take 2 bagel bites and put one on top of the other, it's almost like you have a bagel bite breakfast sandwich.
Well,
So,
what if it's pepperoni pizza? What if it's pepperoni pizza bagel bites? If you put 2 slices of pepperoni pizza together, is that a pepperoni pizza sandwich?
Well, what if it's a breakfast version of the bagel bites?
Perfect.
Then
I'm going bagel bites. They're so versatile. We've just established that you got to vote for them. Hottie?
All right, bagel bites, and what was the other choice?
Breakfast sandwich.
Bagel bites. I don't do breakfast sandwiches.
Ellis?
Breakfast sandwich.
So Sonny's always got to be different.
That's why we call him the outlaw.
How come a little bell goes off every time Ellis says something?
We have to mark his wrong decision.
Hey guys, give me 5 minutes. I got to go upstairs. Little guy's getting over a cold. He actually threw up. I'm going to go up and help my wife for a second.
We will hold down the fort.
Never happens on that.
And you call mine amateur. Holy cow.
Oh, Jesus. Give the guy a break. He's got a sick little one.
It's easy to blame that when he's really just adjusting the bracket here.
Right. Yeah. Rigged.
Are you saying the fix is in? Is that what you're saying?
He voted bagel bites, but he's really going to nuke a breakfast sandwich. Just saying.
Well, if it's going to take 5 minutes, that's more like a baked potato.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting ready to pull out some.
Hey, we don't care what you're getting ready to pull out. That's just a family show.
Getting ready to pull out some stuff from the fridge for some burritos. So. I didn't say I'm getting ready to pull my fucking burrito out. And...
That's what you say to the chicas.
You want to see my burrito? Actually, we need Zorro in here. We need Zorro in here to give us the right pronunciation.
It's got be like a roll, like a burrito.
Yeah, I can't roll my R's like that. Yeah. I'm a white guy. I can't do it. And I slipped through high school without having to take a single foreign language class. So
once upon a time, you didn't have to.
Well,
yeah, they were all electives.
Those were the days.
We were supposed to, but somehow I was able to slip through without having to take Spanish or French. And yeah,
they were just wanting to get you out of there. They didn't care.
You're damn right.
The only reason when I went to school, the only reason that people took Spanish was the teacher was hot and drove a convertible.
That's about the same as mine. Actually, no, it was the other way around. I want to say the French teacher was the hot one.
And I honestly think at one time she dated a student and nobody cared.
I took a class my sophomore year called theater just because the teacher was smoking hot.
I took what was the one I took? Music theory or something. And it was because of the teacher and a few of the hot chicks took that class. And it was a very small class and I knew it. And it was like the teacher, a couple of hot chicks, a couple of like nerdy chicks, and then me and one of my best friends was the only 2 dudes in the class.
All right, so you guys got to understand that the middle school and high school I went to, a guy who went there with me, his name was, I don't know if I should throw his name out there, but his last name was Falau. And you guys remember the very first teacher who got caught diddling a kid, and she ended up going to jail, and then the kid ended up getting her pregnant after he was 18. And Mary Kay Letourneau, you remember her?
Yeah.
From microwave burritos to this is what happens when you leave a bracket.
Yeah, she. I went to school with that guy. I mean, he was just a normal normal kid or normal. He was 1 year older than me.
Except he was a god at that school, I'm sure.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he was a gangster, no doubt.
Talk about gangsters. Sorry, guys.
You probably don't even want to know what we got into.
Oh, great. Now I have to watch a replay and see if I can even let this up. So we did.
Everybody took turns yelling so that we took control of the screen, and then we disassembled the R-15s.
I guess you were just hand making parts.
We were all yelling Brownells at the same time.
yeah, I could say it. So we were on breakfast bagel bites and breakfast sandwiches. Who went last? It would have been Outlaw went last.
I do believe.
And whatever you said was wrong, I'm pretty sure.
Right. As
Yeah,
usual.
I said breakfast sandwiches. I was right.
Yeah,
Everybody else was wrong.
Yeah, which is wrong.
No, which is right.
G-Webs, set them straight.
I gave mine to Ghost because I don't believe in either one of them.
Oh, that's right. Gizzard.
Breakfast sandwich.
See, Gary's smart.
Ghost.
You chickens. Just
I'm going to go with 2 votes for the bagel bites.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. And Clover.
It don't matter.
That's right, but
It technically does matter for the sake of this bracket.
maybe something will happen and we'll find out that Ghost's votes don't count, like he was juicing or something.
Yeah, I'm a part of the Russian. I'm a part of the Russian delegation, so I've been doping.
There's no detailed translation between those.
I would probably go breakfast sandwich.
It's a close one. A lot of these are 3 to 4 tonight. Chef Boyardee versus soft pretzel.
You know who won? What's going on?
No. How'd that one turn out?
Oh, bagel bites.
Hell? Okay.
Bagel bites.
Okay. So now
Clover,
now
you're
we're
first.
on Chef Boyardee versus what?
Soft pretzel.
Soft pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Soft pretzel.
He says that it was a tough choice, though.
It was. Yeah. I
Ghost.
could just hear the sweat beating down his brow.
Soft pretzel.
Gizzard.
Pretzel.
G-Webs.
Pretzel.
No step on pretzel.
Oh
Heard
my-
that.
Oh my goodness.
Outlaw.
What's the choice?
Boyardee pretzel.
I'm going with Chef Boyardee.
Of course, you got to be wrong, right?
Chef Hati.
I done said this. The pretzels have too much salt. I don't like salt.
It's a big old huge speck of salt. How hard is it to brush that crap off if you don't want it?
True.
Because I do that. I'm not big into
Yeah.
I'm not big into like super salty stuff, and this may be weird, and I don't care. But I don't like the salt on my pretzel. If I got nacho cheese, I don't need the salt.
That's right.
There's not even salt on it. You got to put the salt on.
Well,
Bad.
Well, we'll wait for Hottie to come back, even though, well, we don't even have to. Pretzel takes it.
Pretzel.
And once again, we've established that everybody chose one thing except for Ellis.
That's why I keep saying that whatever he picks is.
Yeah.
That's
not a bad.
That's what hipsters do. They're
Not a bad
just
way to
wrong
go.
a lot.
So now we got. Wait a minute. How do we have a three-way tie here?
You
So
set
if you
this
add the
up.
fourth one, remember?
You set this up on your little
No, it's okay.
5-minute break.
That's okay. No, we can do this. We just got to get rid of one. So we'll just say which is the worst one out of this, and the other two will move on. So it's burrito versus bagel bite versus pretzel.
You're wanting the worst one.
Yeah, which one's the least? Yeah, the worst one.
Which one goes? Which one gets?
Yeah, which one do we kick out? Which one do you kick out? Burrito, bagel bites, or pretzel?
Easy.
Oh, oofta.
Easy.
Well, my vote's for the pretzel.
Who is this on?
Oh wait, I guess it is me first, isn't it? I'm gonna get rid of the pretzel.
Just because you do whatever Alice tells you to do?
Yep. General Relativity actually put a little picture of a burrito up there. That's nice. Hottie?
Burrito, bagel bites, or pretzel? Which
Yep.
one? Which one has to go?
Yep.
Pretzel. Pretzel. It just does. Yeah.
All right. Outlaw. Pretzel goes? Because salt exists in the planet somewhere. G-Webs?
Bagel bites because there's too much fucking bagel on them.
Okay. So angry. We need Angry American on here for answers like that. Gizzard.
Bagel bites.
Uh-oh. Well, I know it's not. I know what's not happening on this next one. Ghost.
Well, I just gotta vote pretzel just to make sure the bagel bite stays alive.
Could have taken your fusion out on the burrito, but whatever.
You're just scheming, aren't you?
And Clover.
I would kick out bagel bites.
Un-American.
Some bitch.
Bagel bites come in a bag, or am I wrong?
No, they come in like a little tray.
Those are the pizza rolls.
No, pizza rolls are a different thing.
Yeah, but they come in a bag.
In a bag.
Yeah, they do. Well, you can get them either way, actually.
Although you can get pizza bagel bites, so
That's true. So, for the win. All right. Burrito versus bagel bites.
Now, see, this one's hard.
The best Chef Mike can give you, can whip up for you. See, General Relativity says pizza rolls could have taken us. I don't think so. I don't think pizza rolls are that good.
Oh, yeah.
I
There's
love some pizza
I
rolls.
love pizza rolls.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. On my end, I would have.
Bias.
Yep.
Obviously, in this bracket.
Okay, well, you want to? Well, we could do that. We can throw burrito, bagel bites, and pizza rolls up here. I don't give a shit. We can add one. I can do what I want. We'll see what happens.
no, then you're gonna screw up the whole fucking whatever. It's your show, dude.
Doesn't matter. Everybody wants
It's
pizza.
your-
Okay.
Bunch
Sure,
of high schoolers come in and yell at his bracket, and he changes things. He's like, "Fucking
Matt doesn't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this,
What the
right?
hell?
Matt doesn't do this, right?
I mean, you're gonna let a bunch. Okay, yeah.
We're thinking on the fly here. This is what you got to do when you're an adult. Sometimes you gotta think on the fly, make things happen.
And you gotta kneel over and bend to the wills of others.
That's
I
right.
hear you.
So, okay, which one do you want to get rid of? Pizza roll, burrito, or bagel bites? I'm getting rid of pizza rolls because that's why. Too hotty.
Oh, that's easy. That's the one you just fucking added. Let's get rid of that son of a bitch. Or no, pizza roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Pizza rolls. Bye bye.
Alice?
Bagel bites are gone.
Oh, piece of shit.
It's always gonna be wrong. Just like
G-Webs?
Just like most of the night, I'm agreeing with Alice. Bagel bites.
Oh, boy. Ghost?
Pizza rolls.
All right. Everybody gets so angry at each other during these things. Clover?
Did you skip Gizzard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Bagel bites. Get them out of there.
So it all comes down to Clover, huh?
Well, now we're in trouble. Clover? Pizza roll? This guy can't even pronounce oil, and we're going to let him pick it.
Yeah, this is scary.
He says oil right every time he says oil.
Yeah, exactly. That's a problem. Pizza rolls, burritos, or bagel bite? Which one would you get rid of?
Bagel bites got to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
You the man,
believe
Clover.
Hashtag
Can't-
fucking
Can't
rig.
believe this happened. I get 2 votes because it's my show. So,
Did you realize how easy you just made the final, Clover?
yeah.
Yes, I do.
It's gonna blow it away.
Think I didn't think ahead of time.
Now we're having one giant burrito versus many tiny burritos.
Pizza rolls are confused. They think they're egg rolls, but they're not. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, and pizza rolls are only pizza. You don't get a refried bean and cheese fucking pizza roll, do you?
You can get different flavors of pizza rolls.
I've never seen a
you can get shitty. You can get shitty or crappy.
You can get combination or pepperoni.
Garbage or trash.
Pizza roll. It's a roll of pizza. So,
there's cheese. Yeah. There's cheese too, isn't there?
Yes. There's like at least 5 different kinds. Unless I don't guess I haven't bought them in a long time, but there used to be a lot of different kinds.
Yeah, because the only thing worse than sticking refried beans in something is sticking it in something and then microwaving it, because that's awesome.
All right, so I will go first. What is it? Pizza roll versus burrito. I'm going to do a write-in vote for Bagel Bites. Go ahead, Hottie.
Well, this ain't my show, so I'm not writing it in. So burrito.
Okay. Ellis?
I speak for all the intelligent people in this.
Hardly.
I say pizza rolls.
G-Webs?
You're beyond help.
When I used to eat the pizza rolls, it was when my mom made them in the oven, not the microwave. So I got to assume they come out gummier and chewier out of a microwave, right?
For sure.
So, burrito was like every day at Microsoft and whatever. That's what you got. So I've eaten more of them stupid burritos.
Ghost? Or I'm sorry, I went over the chicken again. When are you guys going to do a show and call it Ghost and Mr. Chicken, like the movie, the Don Knotts movie? I love that movie. I said that the other week in the chat, and hardly anybody knew what the hell I was talking about when I said that movie. That's awesome.
Never heard of it.
It is. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Chicken gizzard.
Gotta go with the burrito.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Ghost?
I'm going to write in the Bagel Bites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this ain't your show. You can't write
It's
shit.
like might as well be voting for Hillary.
Hey man, that was just too low right there. That was wrong.
We just fucking make up rules.
I'll go with pizza rolls.
Oh my
That's
God!
At least you're making.
Oh boy, I can see something happening here. Go ahead, Clover.
Where are we at? What's the count?
Pizza roll 2, burrito 3.
That has nothing to do with your decision.
Yeah,
burrito 3.
That's true. I shouldn't even told him.
You should not have told him.
Pizza rolls 2, burritos 3.
And
I think what you should do.
Hey, I got it. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Go for pizza rolls and make Travis take his write-in vote out.
No, I'm a little upset over this. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write in my soft pretzel. So there you go.
You're gonna write in what?
I'm gonna write in my soft pretzels again. So there you go.
That makes burrito the winner then.
Hashtag not my fault. I went third party.
Third party candidate, right?
No, that was like a fourth party.
Because you got a deep fryer, right? At your place?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got a deep fryer. Have you ever put a burrito in the deep fryer?
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a chimichanga is.
It's similar, yeah.
But,
I
don't know with that.
I do not have a proper deep fryer, but that's how I like to make my burritos: is throw them in a cast iron thing with oil and fry them up.
Pizza rolls in a deep fryer. Have you done that?
Whoa.
Pizza rolls.
That would be an egg roll.
Pizza rolls deep fryer? No, they just cooks them fast or whatever.
Yeah.
But not I put bagel bites in a deep fryer. That's my case.
Oh.
Oh, see, a ghost head teeth. You can't handle it.
I don't think bagel bites in deep fryer would work because
Exactly, it would come out as like grease sponges.
yeah, it would be.
You could put one on top of the other and stick them together with a frill pick or something, dip it in there. It would work.
That's the only way. That's the only way you can work it out.
It came all the way down, and microwave burrito wins it, which makes sense, right? I think that had to happen. It was meant to be.
We are living in some kind of alternate reality, aren't we?
Why?
No, that's my fucking dinner tonight. Except it's not fucking out of the freezer. It's homemade burritos or homemade beans and homemade carne asada that's going into said burrito.
There you go.
But that's how it's being heated up.
As far as I can tell, Hottie don't eat anything except fucking homemade fucking burritos every fucking night.
Dude, you're right. I have been on that kick for quite a few months now. But
yeah, that's all we hear about.
I have perfected it. Is all I can say.
All right. So
Ghost ain't even coming back. He's fucking out of it.
he quit. He's done.
Pissed because his bagel bites didn't win, or what?
Yeah. I even tried to save him. That son of a bitch didn't even want it. Didn't want nothing to do with it.
What a poor
Pretty
sport.
much everything you put in a microwave, I'd rather put in a toaster oven, and it comes out with like actual heat to it and like
Texture.
Outside, yeah, like it gets.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to cook popcorn, though.
No, you're right. But you do popcorn so pretty quick.
I've never owned one of the little toaster oven things.
I am banned in my house from owning a toaster oven. I have caught 3 of them bastards on fire, man.
Here's
no more toaster ovens for you.
Here's my problem with them is they're so big and they take up so much space and you can only fit a tiny little fucking thing in there. You might as well use a goddamn oven, no?
No, not at all. You're wrong. They're half the size of a microwave, and no, you put all kinds of shit.
Yeah, mine's way smaller.
Okay, but they still take counter space. That's crucial.
No, depends on what you buy. I mean, if you buy one that sits on the counter, you can buy them that set up underneath the counter. It's like a microwave.
They eat from the top and bottom though too, which is cool. So.
Yeah.
General relativity out there is general relativity is saying scrambled eggs come out of the micro perfect. I don't know what the hell kind of perfect egg you're talking about.
Oh my God.
They come out taste like they come out feeling like the texture is like one of those self-healing targets that you can shoot at.
I would never even think about trying scrambled eggs in the freaking microwave.
You just take the egg and put it in the microwave. It'll come out scrambled. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Hockey puck.
Just gotta scrape it off the sides when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's gonna explode in there.
You break the egg first.
You can get the scrambled egg for sure.
Yeah, you can.
All right. I think we've solved enough of the world's problems tonight. I think we had a good time. I appreciate you guys all coming. Let's go through some. I will say goodbye for Ghost since he took off. He got scared. He got skirt and took off.
Poor Ghost.
So check out the Tuesday show and sub to him and yell at him and say nice mean stuff to him and all that kind of stuff. Clover, go ahead. Give a little outro here.
A little outro, yeah. I don't know. MOA Mondays tomorrow. Other than that, not a whole lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kiz.
Well, thanks for the invite. Check me out on my YouTube channel, also my website, gizzardgary.com. Join gun channels. It's a fun place. And check out guntube.org. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mr. G-Webs.
Hey, thanks for the invite. In about half an hour, and I'm done moving some files around. We're going to watch Terminator. And thanks to GunTube.
Sweet.
Over on Gun Channels.
Awesome. And you can you watch that on Gun Channels or no?
Watch on Gun Channels through GunTube. Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Outlaw.
Oh, let's see. I got the Monday night show coming up tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern. The 6 p.m. show, maybe. Not going to happen this week. I'm going to be with the girlfriend that day, so don't know what's going on. Don't
This
know what time
guy.
I'm going to be back.
This guy. What's more important, man?
It's up in the air at this point.
You make me sick.
Hey, we're going to be at a hotel. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is going to be like there.
Oh, the old no-tell motel, huh?
You can pay.
No.
You get a trial, so you can kiss my ass, dude. You're gonna have Wi-Fi.
Gonna be at the motel sex, huh?
Motel sex.
Actually, no. I think it's a Days Inn.
If it's Days Inn, you're gonna have Wi-Fi. So no excuses. You're doing your damn show.
Well, I tell you what, if I can get connected, I will do the show. I will bring the computer. But I make no promises.
Of course.
And Too Hottie.
All right. First of all, who's first tomorrow? Ghost or Clover? Clover's at 5 Pacific. Yes, Clover is at 5 Pacific. He's doing his one-on-one. He's talking to you fans. He will be answering all your questions on the Clover Tech channel, also broadcasted on YouTube and gun channels. After that, be sure to check out that Poor Sport Ghost Tactical. He's going to have Tactical Tuesday coming up the day after on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, I'm not sure what's going on with the Daily Gun Show, but check out gunchannels.com for sure. And last but not least is I'm TooHottie206 on Instagram. I'm creeping up on my 1,000 follower milestone, and as soon as I get a little bit closer, I'll figure out if I'm doing a giveaway or not. So stay tuned and give me a follow.
For sure. Ape was gonna come in and do the outro, but now his little slacker's back, so he's gotta stay there. So check out gunchannels.com. Check out the schedule. The schedule over there is crazy. It's been a little while since I've actually gone over to look at it, how many shows are on there, but it's packed, man. There's just a ton of stuff on there. Check it out. See what who's when and who's where, and go watch. Sub to everybody, and do all the I like people to do it for me, but do all the creators a favor and go into the comment sections and make some suggestions for shows. Give them some ideas, things that you'd want to see, because I know for me, when I'm as busy as I am, it's not always the easiest to come up with stuff. So sometimes you have something in the comment section, you're like, wow, that would be a great segment for the show. So do that for the people that you watch. You give them a little help.
Or
it's good to be interactive too.
Or just shoot them a message and tell me how much you appreciate them and like the video that they put out. That means more to them as well.
Yeah. The interaction is awesome. I mean, it's super fun. I especially I put out a lot of videos late at night, and it's really fun to get up in the morning and see a bunch of comments and stuff. That's always fun. It's kind of exciting. So, do that. It's pretty cool. Watch out for Black Cat. He changed times, so his late night chats are pretty scarce, but he's been doing some daytime stuff. So check out him. Clover G Outlaw. I mean, everybody on the show tonight was I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys tomorrow, if not to watch the Terminator. So thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.